I think he did some interview recently where he was like, I'm box office challenge. I was like, fair enough. At least he
He
knows where
has
he stands.
become after
Hmm.
There Will Be
Uh,
Blood.
yeah, I don't think so. He's given like outright hits, no?
He's
Any of
all of
them.
his films are flops. What do you mean outright hits? Like after There Will Be Blood, none of his films have
No,
done
I
well.
think usually his films
Didn't he
do well
No,
in
I
bankrupt
overseas
think
also,
Annapurna?
no?
yeah. I mean, Licorice
That's
Pizza is like a very low budget film, so I think it might be a hit.
Yeah,
It might have
Okay.
broken even or something.
Because Phantom Thread I know
ROI might
bombed
be
badly.
better for
So
this film.
yeah.
Yeah.
This is
mm,
175
but like,
million, one battle after another. How will this do well?
yeah.
It will not. It'll be a disaster for sure. But
It won't be a
let's see.
It's
disaster. Do
already
you
a
think it'll be a
classic. So.
No,
disaster?
box office wise, it has to be no for it to break even. It needs to make like 350 million or
No, but
something.
Leo has the
Never
pull,
gonna
right?
happen.
Leo
Leo can
only
bring in
can pull,
audience,
no?
right?
Who else
Hmm.
will pull?
I
That's
mean, I don't
But
know. Yeah,
what was the
Killers of the
last
Flower Moon
Leo
might be
hit?
like
Killers of
130
the
something.
or
Let's
maybe
see.
Quentin Tarantino can come and promote it as like a Quentin Tarantino like film. Maybe then
Yeah,
it'll
we
earn
should do
money.
that.
Yeah.
Sure.
That would be
No,
great.
but what was the last Leo hit also is the big question. No?
Once Upon a Time in
Like it's been a
Hollywood.
while since.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it made
No, but that's
decent
like
amount of
5 years
money.
back. Like
Killers of the
Killers of the
Flower
Flower
Moon is
Moon
And
never
made
and
going
a
to do
Killers
well.
of the Flower Moon wouldn't have made that much if not for Leo.
I mean,
Like it made like
it's
100
Yeah.
not a movie. It's
yeah.
a half to
yeah,
documentary type ही है, so you know people will not like it.
and four and
Uh,
a four like
What
three
is
and a
this?
half hours. So
Scorsese shitting happening right now. Okay.
no,
But
I
Leo has
don't.
a
You
separate
did.
stardom, right?
Yeah.
It's like
yeah,
a
yeah.
unique position that he is in. You can't say whether his films will make money or, what's the kind of status that they're
I
gonna
mean,
get.
yeah. What else has he made apart from the Scorsese and that thing? Don't Look Up is the
Don't look
Netflix
up at counts.
movie which
Yeah.
Yeah.
which did well
Yeah.
also there. So but Jennifer Lawrence is also in it. Everyone's in that. So
Timothy Chalamet is in
Timothy
it.
Chalamet also.
yeah.
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 Oh yeah.
But so yeah, Leo is the guy who's
Leo
gonna
is the
pull it.
only option,
Anyway,
no one else. But yeah, for pulling in the money at least.
Savior.
Yeah,
there's also
hopefully.
Benicio del Toro in this film, right? And
Benicio del Toro is not gonna
Sean Penn.
make you money, and he will
No, I'm
definitely
just
not make
thinking
you
who else
money.
is there.
That's it.
Sean Penn. Sean Penn.
Sean
He
Penn though
was a
is
big
Sean
like
deal.
Penn.
is like box office poison,
Lost.
not like box office. Uh, didn't he, what else has he
Yeah.
made? Hasn't he like gone nuts after like Tree of Life? Like he's
Yeah, it's
legitimately
gone
just
into a
Yeah.
gone off
tangent,
the rails.
political thing.
Yeah,
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 it's
yeah.
gone
He went to
completely off
Ukraine to
the
make
Films
a
that nobody
documentary
likes.
on the
He
Yeah.
made the
whole
last
invasion thing.
face or some
And then,
garbage, absolutely, apparently, which is like a totally misguided white savior sort of, whatever nonsense he's doing. I have no idea. I He should have
mm,
stuck with Malik and made whatever next things he was doing. He would have gotten to
Malik.
frolic
Okay.
around and not do anything else. But
Okay. I'm
anyways,
gonna I'm gonna start this loose-ended, like loosely
loose limbed,
planned
yeah,
podcast.
yeah.
Yeah.
जादू मंतर जादू मंतर जादू मंतर You are going into the future.
You talking to me?
They always be these clothing. என் பேர் மாணிக்கம் எனக்கு இன்னொரு பேர் இருக்கு
Talking to me?
Queen is dead.
Hello. I'm Sanjeet. I have Dhruv and Chris with me. And we have returning guests Arjun and Ashwin from 28 Years Later episode. And today we are discussing one of our favorite filmmakers in general, Paul Thomas Anderson, and our favorites, like one from his filmography in a sense. This is basically a precursor to his release. What is the new title?
One
Battle
battle
After
after
Another.
another. How have you
Yeah,
forgotten?
that's a mouthful of a title. It's like I was just gonna
Oh,
say
you
one
did not
stick for
hear
some
what
reason.
title Amartya had to pronounce yesterday about what was it, Chris?
I just remember what the English translation was what Greece is not our country slash blue, black, transparent, white.
That's the title
What is
of the
this
film.
movie?
Exactly.
Okay, anyway,
Huh.
that's another episode which probably will come out before this
Before
episode,
this. So
I
this is
guess.
not a precursor. This is actually after one battle after another releases that this will be out, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hopefully. On time, I guess. Also, So basically, we are discussing most of his filmography in general, and it's mostly loose-limbed, as Dhruv has described. We're going to go through most of his films, tell why we like those particular films, or if not, like how Dhruv usually attacks other movies in general. No, I'm just kidding.
That's so rude. That's also very unfair. That's not true at all.
No, I'm
Okay.
just kidding.
And there is no
We'll,
PTA movie I dislike, by the way.
you just said you had
I don't
Like,
dislike
issues.
it. It's a relative thing.
Okay.
okay.
Okay, I'll take it as that. But we'll go mostly filmography wise in terms of timeline, which film came first and then the other film after that.
I mean, no, but
So
I think
we'll
we were doing
start with
intros also, right? If you guys have intros too, because I don't have
I
an
think we'll
intro.
do intros once we
While we are
do
doing
when
the
we are doing
films
our
only.
films only.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
So Arjun can start with Magnolia, which released in 2000.
1999.
1999.
Strong stuff here, boy. Wow. What exactly you have wrong you need all this stuff?
Motherfucker.
What?
Motherfucker. You
What are you talking about?
fucking asshole. Who the fuck are you? Who the
Oh, look,
fuck
lady, I'm
do
just
you
trying-
think
I'm
you
just
are?
trying to
I
make
come in
conversation.
here, you don't know me, you don't know who
Look,
I am, what my
you don't
life
have
is, and
to-
you have the balls,
don't
the
have-
decency to ask me a question about my life?
Yes, lady, what-
Fuck you too! Don't you call me lady! I come in here, I give these things to you, you check, you make your phone calls, look suspicious, ask questions. I'm sick! I have sickness all around me, and you fucking ask me my life? What's wrong? I'm using death in your bed, in your house. Where's your fucking decency? And then I'm asked fucking questions. What's wrong? Suck my dick!
I think at this point, it's fair to say it's one of the most maligned films in PT's career. It's like open thing. So
Maligned.
Is it
yeah,
maligned?
like
Is
pretty much.
it?
Yeah, even today when I look at reviews, that people has like so much
Okay.
like hate towards this movie, and I'm like, okay, still it's like a young man who's trying to do too many things at once. So I was just even my introduction to this movie was like that because when I discovered there's this filmmaker called PTA and I looked him up and and I was reading through this movie just stood out for some reason because of the multiple characters, the
Mhm.
POVs and stuff like that. So right then I knew okay I had to watch because I think this is the first film that I watched of it, so that it holds special place in my heart too that way too. So when I watched it, I knew this was like over ambitious, overstuffed. Everything, any name that you can give that movie, it fits because it's like he's trying to do too many things at once. But
Mm.
as a film fan, you watch it and you are like spellbound by how he connects these various threads together. So
Yeah.
that's the first thing that comes to my mind. So
Yeah.
this is like this blank check movie. If one might say, like New Line gave him like go do whatever you want, and
Yeah.
he got an
Hmm.
approval from Tom Cruise to be like, okay, I want to be in your next movie. So he was like, okay,
Because
I'm
he
just gonna
loved
go.
Boogie Nights, that weirdo, of course.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he saw a
Yeah.
screening of Ice White Shad with Kubrick, I guess, and Nicole
Oh,
Kidman.
okay.
So it was like, yeah, that's when the whole meeting took place. And
Yeah.
Mike DeLuca was like, okay, do whatever you want. You have full creative control. Director's cut,
Mhm.
whatever. And he was like, okay, I'm just gonna go out, and make something that I'm never gonna make again.
Mm.
So I think he put everything out there in this film. It's like this, like his autobiographical details, his personal thing. So
Mhm.
it's like a treasure trove of a film. If you look at it now from his vantage point of his career, because you get to understand a person through his filmography, right? So
Yeah.
when you look back at these like themes, like we'll be talking about these themes,
Mm.
obviously, like these absent father figures and stuff like that, and
Mhm.
about how power a person consolidates power through the character of the Tom Cruise's Frank T.J. Mackey.
Yeah.
So there are things going
Hmm.
on in this film and about these, guilt and about how the childhood affects the person's adult life and how it carries on in your life and all that. So when I watched this film again today,
Mhm.
just running up to the episode, I in my estimation, the film grew actually when I was watching it today because I could see what he was trying to do, but I could
Mm.
also see the overzealous, like pretentious young film geek trying to do too many things, and he's like,
Mm.
I'm gonna impress. But
Mhm.
at least while I was looking at the films that released during the time, right,
Mhm.
it stood out because it was like, okay, there were things going on here. And other
Mhm.
filmmakers, like I was watching Jim Jarmusch's Coffee and Cigarettes the other day, just as
Mhm.
a reference to this. I was like, that is more settled down film. Like Jarmusch
Yep.
ordinarily is like that, but when you watch that film, you understand the interconnectedness is done in a more like very subtle, nuanced way. But here, Anderson is so full of so zealous that he's trying to get too many things across. So, but I appreciate the swing because I don't think many filmmakers get to do that. And even
Yeah.
if someone tried a ripoff of this,
Mm.
they would not be able to do that because the emotional core won't hold as much as in Magnolia. I don't guess,
Yeah.
many
Yeah.
filmmakers get to do this. So I'm got given him a free pass for Magnolia. So I'd like to know what you guys think of this film. Yeah.
How did you discover PTA?
Yeah.
This is the
I
discovery, right? He said this is the
No, no,
first
like
film of
how did
his
you
he's
get to
watched.
know like this? There's this filmmaker who's made a film
Oh,
like
okay.
this.
the
Like,
usual route, Tarantino, sort of a Sundance, that generation of filmmakers.
mm,
You see the interview with Charlie Ross about Terminator 2, him liking the movie, and he's like, okay, that's a pretty good movie. Why should, someone be not teaching that at film school? So I was like, okay, this guy's interesting. So I went back and, watched a couple of his films. Then
mm,
Magnolia was the first one. Then I went back to Boogie Nights, and I said, okay, there's something going on here. It's like
Hmm.
overtly
mm,
like it's pretentious for his age because he's like a young kid back then. So I was
Yeah.
thinking now, like, he was just 29 or 28 at that time.
Yeah.
So it's pretty like
mm,
it's not like every 28 wonder kid gets to make this sort of film, right? At least you reach at least 30 above or 40
Yeah.
around that age group so that you'll
mm,
get to make a film. You make a grand statement about
Yeah.
life and past regrets and how father
mm,
children relationships and all that. So it's like too much of going on. So yeah, my introduction was the usual route, Sundance generation of filmmakers, Tarantino, sort of a Anderson,
mm,
and particularly like when I think around the time that Phantom Thread came out, that was the time I was really into Paul Thomas Anderson. I was like, okay, going back and seeing what he did
Hmm.
previously because that film affected me in that way. So I was
Hmm.
like, okay, I'm just going to watch everything that he made. So then
Hmm.
from there, I caught up with the rest of his filmography. So yeah, that was it for me.
mm. And Dhruv, do you want to present your certain
What?
issues?
Yeah, your
I
counter
Like
mean,
argument.
you
listen.
rewatched it more recently as well, so I just
I
want to know
wrote
what did
about.
you think?
I took up an assignment when where
Mm,
essentially the assignment was to write about some of the films. I don't like writing about bad films, unlike someone here, at the bottom of my screen, like in the in the Zoom thing I have here. But I don't
started.
like writing in detail, especially about films I don't like. So I was like, and
Mm.
I like Magnolia. Just by the way, I don't want that. I don't like it. I like it. The
No, no,
issue
you
is
like Magnolia.
the drop off in for me, who considered it his third favorite film of the PTA canon, to being now it's
Mm,
probably the weakest for me, just because I think it's doing two things. Firstly, which are opposite to me, in the sense that it's going for that operatic sweep, but it also has, to me, the annoying parts of a Quentin. Well, the one annoying part of a Quentin Tarantino film also, where it's like the postmodern touch is annoying and distracts from the emotion for me. So to me, it's like if your introduction in Magnolia introduces us to coincidences can happen, and I'm like, yes, great prologue, love it. Film continues. There's montage after montage. Essentially, it's slipping in, like using music and then slipping from one storyline to another, charting the connections between them, etc., etc., etc. And
yeah.
then you'll have these moments in the middle where the film just stops, and it's like this actually happens, and I'm like, I know it happens. You told me it happens. I'm like, I don't need to know it more, is the thing. And I think the film
Mm,
has that, I think it's what over eager to hai, which I think even is there with Boogie Nights. I actually think Hard Eight is the most least flashiest out of all the three of his first movies, which is why
first three
maybe I
films, yeah.
went back.
Mm,
I've seen all three only recently, and I liked Hard Eight the most. So it's also a sign of maybe I'm changing and I don't like. So I'm very happy to concede that. But I think
mm,
the reason why I would also say I prefer Boogie Nights over Magnolia is because of that post-modern touch, which I am anyways less receptive to when like Spike Lee does it. I'm again, I think last episode just went out, which is the Spike Lee episode, in which I essentially said you can burn my cinephilia card, because I said it has. I basically said that Godard's films, find them cold mostly, because they operate on an intellectual level to me, and they don't appeal to me beneath that. And And Magnolia has these very contradictory impulses, and I'm like, I am happy to commit to the operatic sweep. I love it, actually. I love when it's going for the punches. Like, I love Tom Cruise's performance in this, even though it's like him and Julianne Moore are just like on different pitches, like they're giving performances on a different pitch. And I still think my actually favorite performances in this are of every film starring Philip Seymour Hoffman has a memorable Philip Seymour Hoffman performance, in my opinion. So him, Philip Baker Hall, and John C. Reilly, I think, and Menora Winters, the love affair he has with like John C. Reilly's love interest, essentially. Everyone's coked up in this movie because cocaine is the main connection in Magnolia, not anything else.
Yeah.
Uh,
I
no,
mean,
I'm
the
kidding.
style is also cocaine fueled only in a way. Like
Yeah,
it's
that's
like
Boogie Nights and this both. Like
complete
as Arjun was
adrenaline
saying,
rush.
young man's movie, young man who snorts a bit too much. That guy's movie also
Yeah.
probably. It is
Yeah.
quite coked up, and again, it's the sort of aesthetic which maybe I respond lesser to now. But I think I would be much more receptive to the film if it didn't have this whole idea where it feels like the film itself is trying to convince itself that it is meaningful and it is very full of
I mean, it does
something.
have all the biblical references, which are very like right in front of you on your
The
face. Like it's trying
biblical
to tell you.
references minus any of the explanations would be perfect, I think. Like, when something like the frogs moment happens in Magnolia, it's a great
Hmm.
moment. I think
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
just there's so much padding in it's 3.5, no, 3 hours 8 minutes, right, or something.
Yeah.
So it's not that the movie is exhausting or anything. I think it has a little bit of an issue in the second act, if I remember correctly, when it's jumping between the stories and I don't click with everything there. But the frogs moment to me would just work much better if there was much less of this sort of this
Hmm.
happens. And because I remember bits and pieces where all this is there, all this effort of like maybe it's the 1999 era where
Hmm.
this whole touch became very in vogue also, where it's like no one takes sincerity seriously, so you need to convince people that this is genuinely sincere. And I'm like, the more you try and convince me that your film is genuinely sincere, the less I find it sincere, because i I'm into the sincerity if you're not trying to convince me of the sincerity, is the big issue I think I
Hmm.
have with Magnolia now.
I think that's clearly a more writing issue than anything else, right? Because
Yeah,
he's
I mean,
clearly
Yeah.
written everything, every
Well,
little
it's like
detail
I
sort of
think
feels
when I was
like.
watching it this time, right? Like there is
hmm,
rising action or whatever they call in screenwriting, right? Like when in a particular sequence, like in the midpoint, I guess, in 1 hour into the film, when the kids are playing against adults, right, in the game show, that's when the
hmm,
film kicks into gear. Till then, it's just setting up slowly, showing these characters.
hmm,
Then suddenly every strand comes together. Tom
yeah,
Cruise's character is interviewed by that lady, and she's
hmm,
asking the uncomfortable question about his father and his childhood and all that. And the game starts, and this one, the kid just wants to, pee, and the person is not allowing him to pee, so he's
yes,
like holding it in. So it's like there's a sense moment there. Then the John C. Reilly character thing is going on, and because he is not able to connect with that person because he's like telling her to reduce the volume, but he's feeling something is wrong in the
yeah,
apartment. So that's going on. So this rising thing is going on. It's not like he's randomly cutting. Because when
yes,
people talk about
yes.
Magnolia, they talk as if it's like a very random movie. Because
No,
that's
no,
not the
I
case
don't
when
think
I
it's
watch.
random. I still think
Yeah,
though that
very well thought out.
my issue with this
Yeah,
type of film is actually that I quite like two or three of the strands here. So when some scene is going on, I'm like, I would much rather stick on that scene, and I see the entire interaction of Tom Cruise and the reporter play out, so that I can feel every inch of discomfort that is there in the scene. When you cut away
yeah,
from it, I'm like, then you are breaking the tension. It doesn't matter if the
yeah.
cut
He
is
does that
meaningful
often.
Yeah.
also. Which,
Hmm.
I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah. He does
I
that
don't
It
even
often.
also
think it's
mind
his
boggling at some
fault.
point.
I don't think, I mean, is it his fault? Like, it's the network narrative movies template, I
Yeah,
think, in
you
many
can't
ways.
hold
And
on to one strand for a particular long period, right? You'll have to cut in between and just show how
Yeah,
it,
but I
because
think there
there's
are too
no,
many strands in this movie,
sure,
and it's very difficult to like cut. I think,
there's no
and
logical reasoning to
yes,
connect all these strands.
yeah,
it's
yeah, that
emotional
is the
logic,
problem.
right? Everything is
Yeah,
emotion
emotional logic.
driven in
Yeah.
many ways.
But even, as Dhruv said, I had that problem. Like, there's this scene where John C. Reilly's character is asking the girl to open the door. It's like there's a tension going on there. Suddenly, he cuts, and then we're coming back to that scene after like 15 minutes.
Mm.
And I'm like, I want to see what happens there. Is he gonna kick down the door?
Mhm.
So I felt like that was a real problem there.
Mm.
I wish there was some way around it. Like, I can't
Because,
think of any other way,
yeah, like
but
Ashwin said,
that
right?
is a big problem with the movie.
Yeah.
I don't think it mattered to me when I watched it for the first time. I was crying and all, but
Yeah.
when I rewatched it like 2 days ago, I was bothered by all these things, and it didn't
No,
really
but
hit me.
I think there's a issue there. Like Ashwin pointed
Yeah,
out, that scene, right? It just stops that scene
Mhm.
all
yeah,
of a sudden.
yeah, yeah.
And it just cuts back to Tom Cruise or whatever's going on
Yeah,
and
Mm.
comes
Tom.
back, and it's like a hit play, and this continues. That's not how the other scenes operate.
Sure.
Because other scenes are going on. So this is
Yeah,
like the narrative, the director can't just stop the narrative and be like, oh, ask us to be like, okay, you'll just hold it here, I'll go
yeah,
sort of something and come back. Doesn't
Mhm.
work that way, right? The other
Yeah.
yeah,
scenes, because you feel that momentum going on, you feel the tension rising, but in that particular scene with the John Swery character, you feel that, okay, he's just trying to make this back and forth work in a way that
Mm.
makes like narrative sense. So yeah, that is
Yeah.
something that I felt, yeah.
Mm.
I mean, I also,
Right.
not to harp, see, I still like the movie, to mention this. But I also think the William H. Macy character arc is quite underserved. That's the one that I think is the least well served out of all the story strands that are there in
I agree.
Magnolia.
Yeah.
I think that's the
Mm.
least
Became too
developed.
monotone, is it?
It's just I think it's the least consistently there also. Like I feel again, Julianne Moore's. I said I think Arjun mentioned how to start talking about Magnolia. I'm like, what does everyone think of Julianne Moore's pharmacy freak out? Because that is one of those scenes which is like at the edge of being so bad that it's like um,
yeah.
I don't know how to react
It's
to
the
it.
pinnacle
Yeah.
of ham acting, like ham is
Yes.
Yeah,
served
I
well
was
there. Yeah.
laughing out loud. I mean, I
Yeah.
thought it was part intentional for sure. I mean, it's not like she
It's
doesn't know
very,
what. Yeah,
yeah, it's that
definitely.
Yeah.
tragicomic register
Right, right,
absolutely
right.
in that
Yeah.
zone.
But
Great
there's a
So,
acting. I
way.
mean, it's one of
Yeah.
the highlights of the movie for me.
no, no,
Yeah.
exactly, I
Yeah,
think so, but I know that it can be totally off for someone else because it's like operating
Yeah.
on
yeah,
such a pitch.
That's the one
I think it
scene
might be for Chris. It feels
people
like
call out
it,
that scene
it is.
particularly because they always refer to this film by Yulen Moore scene. But when you look at the scene, right, there's a clear way the progression is there. Like
Yeah,
there's a method to the madness that she's showing. It's not like she's suddenly burning out. Like
right, right.
this
Absolutely.
drug-fueled day, she's been, she's almost in the edge of an emotional
yeah.
meltdown or whatever. And then suddenly she's looking at this thing and, gradually PTA builds the tension and then she just goes all out.
There's a lot
So
of
there is
use
a
of
little,
the
they'll have to give a little more credit to her for that. Yeah.
And a lot
But
of
people
use
are
of the John Bryan score, John Bryan only, right?
Yeah.
He did the score. A lot
Mm.
of like that
John?
Building
building
tension.
tension,
Yeah.
which is the same. And again, I know the flick centrics of PT's early works. I see them is also another issue, but that's for another time, I feel. But it's like just this whole idea that you see the form. And I'm like, I get it. You're very impressive. I like some of the techniques. I am a much bigger fan of when he holds on a close up than when he's doing the very aggressive push in. I'm just like, I understand.
You,
I
you know, in
understand emotional intensity, like that way.
in a sense, I find it really funny that Arjun calls it PTA's most maligned film because the reason I watched it is because I saw a huge moment on my I watched it because I saw it on Twitter, which is like the
Hmm.
funniest way to come across it. But everybody was just raving about how this film will like change your life and it's one of the greatest like instant five-star movies you will ever see. And I'm like, okay, this looks cool. Let me check it out. And
हाँ,
I
एक
will say
सेकंड एक सेकंड एक सेकंड कैवियट डालो कौन है पिक्चर में
कैवियट इस पिक्चर में टॉम क्रूज है एंड आई एम लाइक पिक्चर
यस
में टॉम क्रूज है तो देखनी देखनी बनती है
यस
so
या
I was like देख लेते हैं and it is a fantastic Tom Cruise performance all said and done.
arguably best I don't know if there's
I mean
any
it's
Yeah.
up
other
there for me.
Hands
Hmm.
down.
Hmm.
But it's very interesting because I was kind of surprised because I liked it, but I think I was also like kind of put off by the aggressiveness of it. Like I feel like I enjoy parts like I love, absolutely adore Julianne Moore's performance. Like that is the kind of excess that really appeals to me. Again, with something like Tom Cruise's performance,
Hmm.
just again, I know exactly where PTA is, and Tom Cruise himself is pulling from for that performance, like the MRA, that kind of, not MRA, sorry. What are they called? PUA, the pickup artistry, that space, and it's
Mhm.
just it's so wonderfully over the top that I like. I adore those specific aspects of it, but I just think that it's very funny because of how much I would come like it was the first PTA film I saw as well, and it's very astonishing how much like despite the fact that I still liked Magnolia quite a bit, how much I would come to love his later work just like at like another scale altogether. But I was like initially, especially I mean, in response to the hype that was sold to me, kind of like it's very interesting, very nice, but like a bit too aggressive for my taste. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sanjeet?
Fair enough. No, Magnolia. When I watched it, it was too sprawling. Like I was like, there's so much that's coming at me.
Hmm.
And the one great thing that I really enjoyed was that it really flies by. Like I didn't feel the 3 hour
Hmm.
runtime at all.
Hmm.
And it felt like every character was like a it felt like a jigsaw type puzzle type thing situation, because he's trying to fit everything everywhere. And it's like, I mean, even the everything everywhere all at once is quite similar in like time in terms of the
You love that movie, so
maximalist cinema
you like
type
this whole
thing.
maximalist thing. So that's
Yeah,
why I was like, this
yeah,
is your thing.
no, but
Yeah.
I feel PTA's filmography in particular, it's always fun. Like if someone who's going to discover him as a filmmaker,
Hmm.
it's just fun if you discover him in like a linear way.
Yeah.
Like, because you'll also age in the same way with every film, like
Yeah.
in general, and like grow with style as he has as a filmmaker, I guess. So
Yeah.
I think I watched Magnolia little later on only. Like I'd already seen The Master and There Will Be Blood and all those movies.
Hmm.
By then, I think I watched around like 2017 or something,
Hmm.
or yeah, 2017 or 16, something like that. And then I really liked how like the style is more to just show you, like it's like really pinpointing. It's like blackboard trying to pinpoint every word with like a with a stick, and like this is the word, now you come to this word,
Underline,
like it's like
underline, underline.
zipping
It is very
through every
Bollywood
word, and
actually in
like
that way. Yeah. I mean, whatever they
with the
like,
sentimentality
underlining
for
something.
sure, I think
Which
for
is why the
sure I
I don't
think
know
musical
that.
element is also there. Na? What the two songs are there.
Yeah.
yeah,
What's the opening credit song is great. Even
yeah,
the mid,
Yeah.
mid
Amy
the
Man songs. It's like almost structured to her songs. It's like
Yeah,
yeah,
all of them are
yeah,
produced to her in a
yeah,
sense.
yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. And
Even
that's the
I liked
midway
how
song, right? The Save Me, is it? What was it called?
Wise Up and
Nice up,
one,
boy.
I guess. Wise Up
Wise
and
Up,
one.
Wise
Wise
Up.
Up is a
Sorry.
song
Yeah.
everyone sings together.
hmm,
That's like a
Yeah,
very,
yeah.
I don't
For
know what to
Hollywood,
make of
that's like
that
a
choice.
different thing
Yeah.
only, no? So I mean, yeah, yeah.
no,
Uh,
though one thing I was forgetting was that like Friedkin also,
hmm.
this film starts off at a very different point, but
Oh,
then
you mean
here
like
it's more like
Sorcerer?
kind of in
In
a
the
way,
sense that
like
it's like
with the
vignetted almost, it feels like where it begins and where it
vignetted,
ends,
correct,
sort of.
like
Yeah,
that's the word
yeah,
I was looking for.
yeah.
So I thought that was very interesting way to
Hmm.
like tell this story, but then again it's too coke fueled in a way, like it's everything just comes at you.
Hmm.
So I think I haven't rewatched it in a while, so I have
Hmm.
very less memory of this film. Also, it
Hmm.
wasn't as impressionistic as his other films, so I think that is the con for me to have watched it a little later than his later
I
films in
think
general.
my first impression must like why I loved it the first time must have also been because I saw it much before like all the and that's
Yeah.
totally it's the I think I wrote about this also in the sense that I don't know if we will ever like I don't know if there's any point in saying that Magnolia would be better if the PTA of now directed it. It's one of those things because firstly it won't be
Hmm.
Magnolia because the PTA of now
Hmm.
firstly won't make Magnolia. I think in many ways because it isn't. He has a level of control you want to say which I think is which I think he now takes for granted almost.
Mm.
In Magnolia, he's
Yeah.
exerting that control over the camera, over the characters, which I think, and that film is that. Like, I think the virtues and pitfalls of the film are that. And I think it's basically
Mm-hmm.
now where we meet it as cinephiles and how we decide to, like, judge it. So, like, even if I have my
Mm-hmm.
issues, it's not like I want him to change this film in any way. So it's like one of those things where I'm like,
Yeah.
do you. I don't love this, but I'm glad you made this, sort of like that attitude to it. But it's like one of
Mm.
But
those things.
interesting
It's
to add to that, in a Mark Maron podcast, right, Paul
Yeah.
Thomas Anderson actually said that he would like to cut about 30 minutes from the movie if it is made today.
Really?
Because I
Okay.
was like, okay, yeah, so he feels that way now. Because he
Okay.
usually, earlier he used to defend the movie, but he was like, it is what it is, I'm not gonna touch that. But now
Sure.
I think he has
mm.
mellowed down as a filmmaker,
Yeah,
so I
I
think,
can't imagine him directing this now at all.
Yeah, definitely
I
not.
just can't.
But it comes from such an
I
emotional
think
place for
it's
him. No, the death of
Yeah.
his dad. So
Yeah.
it's
father,
understandable.
grandfather.
Like
mm.
grief,
Which I
like
think is one of the best sections of the film also, for me at
Yes,
least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
that's
For
an
Yeah.
me
emotional
also.
hook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll move on to Punch Drunk Love.
Listen to me. What's your name, sir? Answer me!
What's your name, asshole?
I'm Barry Egan!
How do I know? You could be anybody,
You're a
fuckhead.
bad person. You have no right taking people's confidence in your service. You understand me, sir?
You're sick.
No. Shut up! Shut the fuck
You have
up!
no right to take people's
Shut
trust.
up! Will you shut up? Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Now! Are you threatening me, Dick? Why don't you go fuck yourself! Oh. Fuck! Did you just say go fuck myself? Yes, I did. That wasn't good! You're dead!
Which is my favorite. Came
Yeah.
out in 2002. I mean, so for me, favorites usually keep changing over time. Like sometimes
Yeah.
it'll be, I think for the longest time it was There Will Be Blood for me,
Mhm.
because that film really influenced me when I was like still learning about
Hmm.
filmmaking in general.
Hmm.
Because I hadn't seen something like that up until that point in my life. So
Yeah.
it just felt like discovering something completely new.
Hmm.
Like I had seen Boogie Nights by then, but then Boogie Nights was so like harking like
I
Scorsese,
mean,
like
yeah.
literally copy pasting his style. That I was like,
right.
okay, it's a good film. I really enjoyed it, but
But you've seen it, right?
I
I
don't
think
know
that's
if
the
I've
other thing.
seen something like that.
Hmm.
But There Will Be Blood was so starkly different that it like put me in a different space.
Hmm.
In the middle of both Magnolia and There Will Be Blood, there's this little film called Punch Drunk Love, which came out in 2002. Which
Little
again
even
I
in like the
watched it after
runtime, because that's his smallest,
yeah,
shortest film, sorry,
like
and smallest film,
94
probably
or 95
94 minutes or
minutes.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, 95
Hmm.
minutes at max.
Hmm.
And then actually this film also just flew by. Like
Yeah.
it literally floats in that sense, if I had to describe it.
Hmm.
So when I watched like Punch Drunk Love, it was very how do I say, like that absurdity was felt normal to me
Hmm.
at that point in time. I watched it when I was like 20. I was going
Hmm.
through a certain phase in life, like
Mhm.
about myself, like
Mhm.
I was still discovering what I like about movies in
Hmm.
general, and still learning how to make films at that point. So that film I watched, and also this PT as a filmmaker was introduced to me by Hemant, who is also one of the people who I started this podcast with. So he really like recommended that filmmaker, saying, you should watch this filmmaker. You'll see something totally different as films, as like
Mhm.
entities of their own, like how
Mhm.
they are telling stories
Mhm.
with the kind of characters and the kind of setting, and stylistically also, like how camera sort of portrays a story, how the music is sort of also indicative of psychological element for the characters. Because I don't know if I'd seen many films that were very implied music for character in that sense.
Mhm.
And then Punch Drunk Love particularly stood for me. And I also remember right the day I watched it, I met Hemant for dinner that same night, because it
Hmm.
was like college time and all that. and we spent like 3 hours of just like talking about the film in general, because there was so much packed in like 90 minutes of it. Like, and also I feel this film becomes like a transition phase. Like me and Dhruv were also discussing about it yesterday before he was
Yeah.
recording the other episode, that how the break off point is There'll Be Blood, but I feel Punch Drunk Love is sort of the transition film, because if you look at stylistically only speaking, camera is also like, I don't remember the first shot of Magnolia, but must have been like some push in only, I guess, like some
Yeah.
really fast push in, I
Is
guess.
it a push
And
in?
Boogie Nights, yeah.
Magnolia.
Yeah,
Push.
Table
Boogie
Ocean
Nights
Nights,
that
is
one.
literally Copacabana
It's the
sequence,
single
Copacabana sequence,
Goodfellas.
yeah,
Copacabana,
pushing. Yeah.
yeah. And Hard Eight is also the first shot is of the
Very
diner,
good first
and
shot, yeah.
like
Tracking,
the
tracking for Philip
and then
Baker Hall
character walks
walking.
in and then it tracks with the
Tracks,
yeah,
yeah,
with him.
yeah.
In this one, it's like this character is literally placed in like one corner, and this
Hmm.
film is literally about the character being in corners and then taking center stage. Like
Sure.
if you look at framing also,
Hmm.
and camera is also sort of implying like it's pulling the character to center stage all the time.
Okay. Hmm.
So it goes from corner and then it sort of
Hmm.
pans to another corner, and then it cuts to, I think, shot of the road where the car
Piano.
just flips over,
Hmm.
and then the another car just like the truck just comes in and drops the harmonium off, and it's completely center placed, and the camera is gliding. There's no answer to any of the things that have happened just before
Sure.
that.
Hmm.
Like there's no context to anything.
Hmm.
So I felt like it's the anxiety of the character trying to just indicate how he's feeling at all times. It's like car crash completely happening instead of camera literally crashing into you, like how it does in like Magnolia
Yeah, yeah.
or like even in Boogie Nights, I guess. So that for me was like a really big uh swing of like stylistic changes in general. And it wasn't like I was consciously thinking about style when I was watching that movie, because at that time it was a
Of
totally
course.
different brain,
That movie must have also conned
functioning
you
of
into
brain.
thinking that Adam Sandler is a great actor.
Yeah, and I had not seen a lot of Adam Sandler comedies, but then there's like a whole context to put through like how Sandler comedies were a certain type, and this film is also another version of the same thing that he
Well,
used to do, like
using
all
the
the
guy for
shouting.
using the guys in a different register, sort of like using the
Yeah,
his
yeah, yeah.
general ticks in a way which are
Same thing
more
with Tom
suitable.
Cruise,
Correct.
right? Magnolia, yeah. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Commenting on their own screen image.
Yeah, and the sentimentality also in this is just so like how clickety clackety, like with John Bryan's score. Like it's like there's this one particular shot which I think when he's in that supermarket where the camera is like slowly gliding and he's like dancing in the shopping aisle where he's buying all those products to get the flying coupons. And I think that's like one of those defining images for a film. Like every film has that one defining images or a certain section of film that sort of defines the whole film. I think that particular shot is the one which sort of defines the whole tone and the film and everything, more than the track in of when he kisses Lena in the
Emily
gallery,
Watson.
or in Hawaii where he's standing. So for me, that was more defining of the film and the character. And I think he's okay. He's not as subtle about in writing as he is in like something like Master, but I think this film is also pushing him in a direction like that, because if he was, then he wouldn't be showing all his sisters, but he does show all his sisters in one place. Seven sisters, if I'm not wrong, might be forgetting it, but like it's just filled with all these little gems. Like when he's going to his sister's place, um, there's a shot of a push in on the door, like a very slow push in, and then he enters and he comes in and then he walks out. He walks in and he walks and he does it like some 3-4 times, and then he later walks in and like all his sisters, literally all of them, just like in like an orchestrated movement, look towards him, and it's like too many eyeballs on me, like type situation. And I thought that was like very interestingly well done. Like it's just like defining the character in like in one go, like why is this character this way, and his reaction later on when he like breaks the windows and behaves in that
Yeah.
certain way. And then it's also sort of absurdist in how that the character of Lena also falls in love with Barry as well. It's not like the answer is not out there.
Hmm.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
just
curious
happening.
about that.
It's
Why?
just
Like, I still don't know why. That's my issue with the film,
yeah.
actually.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay, it's an issue.
No, no, I mean, I
I
love
mean,
it so much,
no,
but
it's fair. It's fair. Like,
as in the film is actually like, to me, it's like that feeling of invincibility when you're in love. Like, you're like, oh my God, I can do anything. So
mm-hmm.
that shot of adrenaline kind of thing, it's the entire film is that feeling. So it makes sense that it's just 90 minutes from his POV. So I get that. That's why we don't really know so much about her and why she's falling for him and all.
Mm-hmm.
But it still annoys me a little bit that like I don't know why she is into him. Still
Okay.
don't know. Yeah.
Emily Watson
Yeah,
was,
but
to be fair, in a phase where she did come off breaking the waves. So,
Waves,
like
so
her
yeah,
choice in men
literally.
was questionable since then. And working
Yeah.
with Lars von Trier
But
anyways
I
makes it
think we missed
questionable.
out a
So,
point there because
yeah.
when Sanjit was talking about the opening shot in the supermarket, right?
Mm-hmm.
We missed out talking about Robert Altman because that contextualizes the whole thing, right?
oh
Love
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Goodbye.
yeah, yeah,
That is something that we should add here, I guess. Like,
Yeah.
Sanjit,
Yeah.
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
can add that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, of course. Like Altman is so like it's all over his filmography in general. Like
Yeah.
because of people who don't know about Robert Altman, like he was one of the filmmakers whose style also included a lot of push-ins, very specifically talking about it,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like very chaotic. Like it's like how you move from
Ensembles, people
one
talking over each
ensemble,
other.
correct? Like
Mm-hmm.
in something like Gosford Park, also, which was sometime in the later half of his career, I think,
Okay.
2001, I think.
99,
2000
2001, I
Yeah,
guess,
one.
yeah.
2000s, I
2001,
guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
2001, he
Something
was
like one
Yeah.
of his
nominated
later
alongside
films.
David Lynch,
Yeah.
I guess,
Yeah.
Alone in the
Mm-hmm.
Pacific,
Yes.
Yeah.
and Ron
So
Howard.
how,
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, continue.
that was Beautiful Mind,
Beautiful
probably
Mind, I
Yeah,
think.
that
Beautiful Mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
same
Mm-hmm.
year. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So my point is like how Gosford Park also, you like, it's the whole film takes place in like a castle type situation in England,
Yeah.
and how you move from a bunch of characters, like the whole action shifts from place to
Mm-hmm.
place. Like even Spielberg is something he's very good at, just like
Mm-hmm.
moving with action, like how he takes you from one point to another
Yeah.
without ever feeling that jerkiness of it,
Yeah.
or like a hard cut in that sense. So Altman was very specific when he did something like that. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Altman's Popeye like has that Shelley Duvall song. He needs me very specifically as a
imagery. Yeah,
theme in this
Same.
film,
Yeah.
Is that the
where
inspiration for Punch Drunk Love? A lot of it. Popeye.
Yeah.
probably
It
I
is
think,
actually.
yeah, I
I know
think
some.
so.
I mean,
There
it
was the
is
whole.
Philip
He's
Seymour Hoffman is
Superman
Brutus.
thing
That's
also with it.
Superman. There are so many theories
Yeah.
about this
yeah,
film. Superman,
Yeah.
multiple
Popeye,
theories.
Spinach,
Yeah.
his identity is coming
I
out and with
was
the love,
Yeah.
like Ashwin was saying. So
yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
a crazy movie.
Yeah.
No, just before recording, also, in a sense, I was trying to find that article. I couldn't find that
Yeah.
article where the Superman theory and
Mm.
the bunch of theories that sort of link to most of his characters post Punch Drunk Love. Like, there was
Mm.
this one Screen Rant video I remember, like, ages back I watched,
Mm.
which was about how uh, uh, There Will Be Blood, The Master, and Punch Drunk Love are literally the same characters and, like, reincarnated in, like, different forms, but it's the same persona
Mm.
in that sense. So like multiple theories, I think, which I mean his writing sort of also flows, and I think this is also one of those films where I think his writing also becomes a little invisible in that
Mm.
sense. Like he's like, let this character do what he wants to do, and then we'll sort of discover what this film is about type
How much?
situation.
How much can I attribute this change because he got married in 2001 to Maya Rudolph?
My,
I
I
think.
mean, he's
No, but I
probably
think this is the
stopped
first
doing
time he's getting
coke with.
he's getting to center his film on a single person, right?
Sure.
Before that, it was
Yeah.
Yes.
scattered,
Yes. 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 I think
scattershot
that's the
sort of
Yes.
big
thing.
Yeah.
thing more than anything else.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
the protagonist is clear now, so he
Yeah.
can
Mm.
focus everything to that one person, right?
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
think the
Yeah.
Yeah.
common
Narrative
energy
actually
from
becomes
Magnolia,
less and less of a big
yeah,
deal actually for him, which I think
Mm-hmm.
serves
Yeah,
him better for me at least.
absolutely.
yeah.
So.
There's more
So.
focus.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you are saying your defining image of. I really need to rewatch it. It's been a long time. I remember really liking it.
Yeah.
My defining thing of this is remembering Philip Seymour Hoffman shout, "Shut up, shut up, shut
Shut,
up, shut
shut,
up, shut
shut
up,
up.
shut, shut." Yeah, again and again and again. And I'm just like, it's hilarious.
Mattis,
Iconic
man.
stuff.
Yeah. So
No, no,
yeah.
no. I think he's actually a bully only, right? So that sort of also harkens to the whole Popeye thing
Okay.
in general.
Yeah,
Also, the long goodbye.
no,
He wears the
goodbye.
same suit as
Okay.
Yeah,
As
Yeah,
I
blue.
forget the name.
Phil
no,
Elliot
no.
Gould.
Elliot
Yeah,
Gould.
Philip
Yeah.
Marlowe character. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. his character in Long Goodbye. And also, again, that same type of storytelling of Long Goodbye also comes in Inherent Vice
Inherent
later on.
Vice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
then only Inherent Vice becomes the ensemble he does after like what, 3 films in the
Yeah,
middle.
3 films. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
There's a
I mean,
short film also that he
again,
made with Sandler in the middle of all of this,
I mean,
I
there's a
think.
deleted scenes thing with this, no? What is it called? Something and Blossom.
Mattress Man commercial. No,
Oh
like,
no, is it
Mattress
something
Man
else? Okay.
commercial.
Okay.
Yeah, I know there's one where Sandler goes to buy a couch. I'm
yeah.
forgetting the name
I've
of the
seen that.
film.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
might
forgot
have
the name of the
forgetting.
film. I've seen that just to
Okay.
make it 100% on Letterboxd again.
No,
uh,
I was
yeah.
obsessed with him because I was like, how do I reach this level of mastery without? I mean, it takes like ages of just like writing.
Yeah.
Also, the privilege of being an American, that's another thing. But that's I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I think that's
But
probably what he's getting at in One Battle of After Another. It seems like it. Or like America. That's his
he's paying back.
America, like right now, what is America sort of thing, apparently. Anyways.
I mean, that's what the reviews say. So
I've not read them.
even
I've just
even
skimmed through them, but the reception has been insanely positive. Which
Okay.
best, not the best thing, but the surprising thing is the first mixed review I saw of it. I was like, I've met that person in real life. I've met that critic in real life. So of course he gives the mixed review
nice.
out of everyone. So yeah, but
Yeah, the
anyways.
short is called Couch,
Oh, is it
Ah,
okay?
okay.
probably on YouTube somewhere.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
And the
somewhere.
log and the line is just like a man goes shopping for a new couch.
Okay.
It's as weird as like a Lynch short film or something like that.
Really?
Like
Okay.
I would say. Even I
Okay.
Yeah.
think something similar.
Anima is a bit
Uh,
surrealist. Not bit, actually, quite surrealist. The music video he
it is
made for
completely
Music
surreal. Even
video.
Tom
like
York, right?
Tom
Tom York.
York, yeah.
I've not
I
seen his
mean,
stuff for
for Smile.
Alana Haim stuff, like
I have.
Oh,
band.
really
He
good
did
stuff.
one with
Okay.
Really good
Indian
stuff.
musicians. One in Rajasthan, he did an Indian musician.
Junoon is
Junoon.
very
Junoon.
good.
Junoon.
Junoon's
Yeah,
great.
Yeah,
Junoon is
Junoon.
great.
It's
Yeah,
really
that was
good.
also.
Yeah, it's really
Yeah,
good. Yeah.
I mean,
that's the
it's
Jonathan
not
Demme
anything.
influence.
Good.
It's like it's more on the people who are in the frame in that, more less on the director, I feel.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I mean,
Yeah,
his
yeah.
music
yeah.
videos for Radiohead are also like there's like some stuff which is just like they're covering their own songs from Moonshade Pool album, and
Hmm.
he's just placed the camera, and in the music video they're just playing. It's just the two of them, Greenwood
Hmm.
and Tom York, and the
Hmm.
camera just tracks him,
Hmm.
tracks out, nothing else.
Okay.
Literally just one shot of like four
Hmm.
and a
That
half
I
minutes of
think
the
is
song.
the Jonathan Demme connection. When they're
Yes.
talking about BTA, you're talking about all these things, right? Context setting is
Yeah.
very difficult because, like,
Yeah.
when you read about him, the influences, then you're not like, okay, many things are coming
Yeah.
back in his films,
Mm.
coming
I
up in
was
the time.
reading,
So
well,
yeah,
I was doing the Wikipedia thingy where the number of people who were mentioned as references were, of course, Jonathan Demme, Robert Altman, Scorsese, of course. I was like, there is no thank you to Scorsese in Boogie Nights. Why? But anyways, then there was Mike Lee, which I was like, interesting in terms of, I guess, character, you know,
Yeah.
the
Stable
level
drama
of
kind of
character
thing.
gradations and
Like Naked
characters.
is like like in Naked only that character sort of carries the whole thing on his own, right? Sort
Yeah,
of
and also
obvious
characters
one, you know.
not revealing or being very simple in a sort of caricatured way, right?
Mm.
Like most of his characters are very layered in whatever cliched critic term you can put. Uh,
Mm.
layered is the word, right? Anyways,
Mm.
Chris, you've
No,
not
Billy
seen Punch
Wilder
Drunk
also like
Love
if
completely,
I mean
so
for
Yeah, I've
yeah,
seen most
I
of
mean
it,
he
and
likes Magnolia, so made
yeah,
Magnolia, sorry.
yeah,
So okay, we can move on to the next film in the list, which is No There Will Be Blood, which was supposed to be Amartya's choice, and Amartya is casually chosen to not come today.
yes.
The next is
We should
Chris's The
talk about it, no?
Master.
There will be blood. Yes, we
I
Yeah.
should,
mean,
Ashwin.
we
What do you
should.
think of There Will Be Blood?
I mean, how could we skip that one?
yeah, that's like the actual like it's
The
like a
film,
major
right?
work.
Yeah.
It's like a
Listen, I will
master's.
still say that it's not the best film of that year, but you know,
Of course.
Oh, no
Yeah. I
country,
Oh
mean,
no
no,
no,
country,
no.
right?
I'll debate that.
no,
I mean,
I'm
I
too much of a
it's
No
one of
Country
the
fan.
rare occasions where Oscars got it right.
I think 2007
Mm.
is an insane year for film in general. So you know, it's one
Yeah,
of
Yeah.
yeah.
those.
Yeah.
No,
Zodiac
I
is
think they
there.
actually got the best film of the year. I mean,
No
even
country for
mine
old
is
men
like,
is there. Yeah.
Yeah, No Country for
Weren't
Old
No
Men,
Country for Old Men
Zodiac.
and
I
There
would
Will Be
say
Blood
Hot
shooting like
Fuzz.
literally close to each other?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That
the
was
smoke
Hot
thing.
Fuzz was 2007.
2007, Hot Fuzz is there, all awesome
So he
stuff.
made Shaun of the Dead
Om
and
Shanti
Hot
Om
Fuzz
is
like
also
back to
there.
back.
yeah, maybe.
Interesting.
I was just
Which
going
is
to say.
which is
Assassination of Jesse
unironically great.
James.
Okay.
Huh?
Yeah,
Oh
and
yeah.
then 4 months, 3 weeks, 2 days. Which
Oh,
one
is
is
that
longer,
also
I guess.
Christian Monjui's films
Yeah.
also that year? Damn, that
Yeah.
year
Nice.
was insane.
And no,
Hmm.
but anyways, no.
No, I didn't mean Om Shanti Om sarcastically. We are the Farah Khan supporters here. Chris,
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Chris
good to
and
know.
me are the
Team
I
for
thought I
Sarkar.
yeah.
sensed the hint of
Yeah.
sarcasm, but
No,
I
no, no,
love that.
no sarcasm.
No,
Absolutely.
no.
I've written a paper
I'm writing a
on
thesis.
yes.
So
So there is no Farah Khan slander here. We are even Shirish Kundar fans, so we are even worse in some senses.
Even I like Shirish Kundar Sakar
So yes. Anyways, no, I
for
didn't mean it
the
sarcastically at all. Anyways,
Netflix recommendation. Hmm.
Mrs. Serial
No,
Killer.
There Will Be
Yes.
Blood.
Yeah. Okay,
Cue
sorry.
to Johnny.
The clash of those two titles, There Will Be Blood and Mrs. Serial
Mrs.
Killer,
Serial Killer.
is
Yeah.
something. Anyways,
It's
yeah.
about the same character only in a way. If you
Yes,
look at it.
of course.
Manoj
Mr. Serial
Bajpayee,
Killer.
Daniel
Yeah.
Day-Lewis. I think they're doing the same thing essentially.
There are times when I look at people and I see nothing worth liking. मेरा नाम मृत्युंजय है छोटा ही करना है ना तो मृत्यु बोलो जय 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 I'm not a fucking ice cream. Call me Mrityu.
Sure.
But yeah, There Will Be Blood. If anyone wants to chime in on There Will Be Blood, because I mean, you can cue Johnny Greenwood's music right here, like
Music or
easily.
silence? I remember the silence of the first 20
Silence.
minutes.
Hmm.
Which,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
But there's score in the first 20 minutes.
Like very gentle, no? Not like very
Yeah.
blaring or anything.
Yeah.
That's it.
No,
Hmm.
not the beating up of cellos type score.
Yeah, because John Bryan's very clickety clackety, like in a good way. I don't mean it in a bad
Yeah.
way, but it's like very present. Even Phantom Thread has a
John
present
Bryan
score,
was
but
only
it's
two
different.
films, right? Magnolia and
Magnolia.
Punch Drunk Love only, right?
I think so. Boogie Nights is who?
I mean,
Boogie Nights
Boogie
actually
Nights was
again
someone
is
else.
it's also just like
Yeah.
the Scorsese thing where all
Good
the
instrumental
music
piece.
is like like licensed. Most of the money goes for the licensed tracks. I
Hard
think.
Eight was
Yeah.
also John Bryan. Boogie Nights was someone
Yes,
else.
and I forgot to mention actually Boogie Nights and Hard Eight May they have the same theme which I think is also there in Magnolia. Like all of them have the literal same theme. So in some place or the other,
Hmm.
it's called Clementine's Loop, which is basically like this very like silent and like one beat and then silent and one beat. So basically very somber and very like serious. So when Boogie Nights ka, the big scene happens where everything is going to shits for everyone in the porn industry, that scene entirely is scored to that. Essentially, it was my point
Okay.
with John Bryan. But anyways, Johnny Greenwood is different here.
Johnny Greenwood enters.
But yeah,
And I
Ashwin,
think
we should start with you with There Will Be Blood since you love it so
style
much.
changes completely. Mm.
No, I mean, I thought someone who'd love it actually talk about it, but I mean, yeah, I don't dislike it, but
Ah.
so this was my entry point to PTA
Hmm.
because it was considered, it has always been considered one of the greatest films of the 21st century, if not all times.
Mm.
At the time, also, I was like, I'm admiring it, like, I'm like,
Hmm.
wow, this is heavy stuff,
Mhm.
but never
Oh.
really had any sort of emotional engagement with it.
Mhm.
And I was like, yeah, that performance is awesome. Like, I respect the film.
Mhm.
And then I rewatched it like last week,
Mhm.
and I feel the same way, similar.
Yeah.
But like I think
Mm.
now I feel a little bit better about it because
Mhm.
now I find the final scene very funny, and that makes the entire film really even better. Because I think when I watched it for the first time, it's again like at that stage in our life, you're in your early 20s, you're approaching this supposed classic.
Yeah.
You don't expect it to be funny, so
Yeah.
you didn't really, yeah, I didn't really think it could even be meant that way.
Yeah.
But like when I'm rewatching it now, I'm way more open
Mm.
to it being anything.
Hmm.
So I found that scene to be really funny, the performance, and
Sure.
that makes it the entire film, the whole self-serious lead up to it, like makes it so
I mean,
good.
it's
And
steeped in self-seriousness, right? Like it is
yeah,
very
yeah,
self-serious, which
Yeah.
I think
incredibly
that's one of the
But
bigger
self-serious.
there's
criticisms
also
for the
the
film also.
tongue-in-cheek quality of PTS films, right? Like he's like always trying to be naughty, like add some
hmm.
Yeah,
humor
yeah,
there here and there.
Hmm.
yeah.
Even within
I
the
don't
God
remember
dimension
there
and
being much here.
self-seriousness point.
Yeah, no,
I
in this film, there's not even a single humor in any of the,
hmm.
segment until the epilogue. I
Okay.
don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was very self-serious, but I mean, it makes sense. I think it's a very
Yeah.
Yeah.
misanthropic character.
Yeah.
But it felt like a very, capital T theme kind of a film. And but I do admire it, like that Derek
Hmm.
explosion scene. I mean, I cannot imagine they
Oh
did
yeah,
that
insane.
practically. Like it's insane. I mean,
Hmm.
how it looks
Yeah.
and the fire and everything, and the performance is just undeniable. Like
Hmm.
wow.
Yeah.
Still it's self-serious film and with like it doesn't make you want to think about it after. Like we know what it's about.
Okay.
It's just hammered down in like the first scene itself.
Sure.
So yeah,
Got it.
Hmm.
So,
yeah.
Chris,
No,
you
That's
I
recently
think
watched it. What did you think? And sorry, Sanjeev, I just want to get back to Chris because
no, it's
the
okay.
other film that comes to mind when I also talk about this and The Master is a Queen is Dead film podcast favorite, which Chris loves and has discussed many a times, which you love actually, unironically, is The Brutalist. So why does something like There
Oh.
Will Be Blood or The Master work, but The Brutalist doesn't? Is my question, Chris.
I'm actually gonna talk about it a little bit differently because
Okay.
I think for me, there's more of an interesting parallel between There Will Be Blood and The Master very directly.
Okay.
And I watched There Will Be Blood, I think yesterday or day before,
Hmm.
and for me, I was also like again, I don't know, maybe it's the problem of the hype cycle, but like whenever I hear about a film that's supposed to be the best, and then I see it,
Hmm.
I'm like, it. I'm not trying to denigrate it at all, but I'm like it's very very good, but it's
Hmm.
it's not my favorite, and in
Hmm.
that sense for me, I think the fundamental difference for me, and this is something I'll get to when I talk about the master myself, is um for very very obvious, personal, very obvious, and also very academic reasons. I have a deep fascination with the idea of masculinity and the
Hmm.
construction of said
Hmm.
idea and social force. But for me, the fundamental difference that happens between There Will Be Blood, which I think it works on it wonderfully, but also where it doesn't satisfy me emotionally, is because that overwhelming cynicism um that sort of grips and sort of doesn't let you go
Hmm.
throughout that film. Whereas for me, The Master is almost it's a reconciliation with it. There is that room for that emotionality to seep through and
Hmm.
at least reckon with what else, what next, right? And that is for me where There Will Be Blood. I think there's no need to debate what a mastery from a technical perspective it is, or from an acting perspective it is, or all of those things. It
Hmm.
fundamentally becomes, how does it work for you? And I think
Hmm.
while I can intellectually admire it endlessly,
Hmm.
the reason why it doesn't count is, I mean, I wouldn't count it as close to how much I love films like like Phantom Thread and The Master, is because that fundamental emotionality for me somewhere is lost in its extremely like brutal reality, and how it constructs the world, and how harsh it is, and how people have to navigate it, and how Daniel Day-Lewis's character sort of
Do you
embodies it in
think
that
you would
sense.
have responded it to better if Daniel Day-Lewis sang at the end of this? This is a wild at heart reference for anyone unaware.
I mean, I will take a movie where you just like burst into song in the middle anyway. So like,
Mm.
sure.
Emilia Perez.
Except that one.
Okay.
And Wicked. We will keep those two
Oh
to
yeah.
one side. The rest,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. No,
Okay.
but I really need to rewatch this. It's been so long since I watched it, and I'm very curious
I
because
mean,
whatever Ashwin is saying actually, and Chris is saying, no, actually, Chris se to I disagree here. I like my cynicism a lot. But no, what Ashwin is saying about the self seriousness is something I also am a little more cautious about appreciating just for the sake of it. And I want to see how this plays in that sense. I remember it quite a bit, even though I saw it so long back. So I want to see how that plays out. But yeah, I think it's with PTA, the trick now becomes after seeing Licorice Pizza, after seeing Phantom Thread, and after seeing The Master, I think, but again, I want to revisit it. And Inherent Vice also, which I have the least memory of, but I have a feeling I will really like on a rewatch. But the challenge after these four and going back to like There Will Be Blood for me is the seriousness of that film actually lingers in all. Like, I think Licorice Pizza is a very dark film in a sense, with like it's consistently backgrounded with all sorts of darkness, and there's like this love story happening amidst all of it, which is sometimes the bright spark but also quite ugly at times. It's one of those things which relationships are fairly troubling, and it has that troubling edge to it. And that edge is there. Phantom Thread, I think, moves in the opposite direction. It goes from a place of self-seriousness to becoming a comedy. So, like, I think it's one of those things where it takes that, almost different swerve. So it's interesting how like this works within the context of that, because this, if it is just self-serious, it's losing one big edge that I think later Paul Thomas Anderson films have in spades. Like, they're funny, they're very. I mean, I think Phantom Thread is one of the best comedies of recent years. Like, I think it's
Yeah.
hilarious. Like, most of the things that come out of Daniel Day-Lewis's mouth are like just gold. I think he's just like I relate to him so much sometimes. You have no idea in how pissed off he is with
Nice.
everything around him and how he reacts to it. But yeah. Anyways, no, I'm
No,
not
just
that chauvinistic though. Just
That's
to
right.
make it clear.
Yeah.
no, but
Uh,
I do want to answer your question about the brutalist because that's very important to me in a sense. And I think to me, and I talked about it extensively when we
Sanjeet likes the
discussed
film,
that
by the way,
film.
a lot. Just
I
to
know,
star it here.
but I will stand by the fact that Brutalist to me is a fundamentally deeply dishonest film.
Sure.
And for me, Paul Thomas Anderson's honesty is, I think, honesty, sincerity, and commitment. These are the three things that I harped on about endlessly in that episode that we
Yes.
did. Is what is most admirable to me in his filmmaking. And for me, I would add his emotionality. But again, the reason that absence is why I wouldn't say absence, but the suppression of that for me is probably why I don't respond to
There Will Be
There Will
Blood.
Be
Yeah.
Blood as
Much as the other.
as much as I do the other ones. But like for me, The Brutalist fundamentally lacks all these three things. Like, it's a very gorgeous looking film, but
Yeah.
it's dishonest. And if you're dishonest, I just can't respond to your filmmaking, however great your craft be. So that's
Sure.
the
To add to what Chris and Dhruv were saying, right? Like earlier in PTA's work, if you observe, there's a sheen of like self-seriousness. He's trying too hard to be like, okay, this is important. I'm talking about important things. But gradually, once it reaches There Will Be Blood, he recognizes his voice. I think that's a tipping point where he understood that, okay, I need to strip everything down. It's not about the flamboyant mainstream thing that's not my voice. So once the stripping down comes, this is what the honesty that Chris is talking about, I guess. Like, in Brutalist, there's this construct, there's a classical construct of what a film should be, what a great man's film should be like, right? But in There'll Be Blood, you can feel that he's stripping at everything and, he's trying to get at the honesty of what a great man and what a
Sure.
capitalistic this thing is going on. So that is
I
there.
mean,
That sheen is slowly rubbing away from his
yeah, and
filmography
also
as he's aging, becoming a aesthetic.
correct me if I'm wrong. Does a PTA film? I think does any PTA film have a moment like The Brutalist does in its second act, where you
No,
basically want to go, what the fuck is that all about? Like, I'm just asking
it's
because
so manufactured and constructed to elicit a feeling. That PTA does not do
Right,
that.
right.
He's like very honest to
I'm
the
asking because
material.
I
I
don't
see.
know if there's like a particular
Yeah.
thing, and it's not. Sorry,
Yeah,
Sanjeet,
yeah.
it's not a brutalist bashing session, but the
No,
idea,
it's okay.
the
And we all love
idea is
Brutalist,
that
yeah.
everything when that film released, and I also thought about The Master when watching the first half of it. So I after that though the second half happens, and I'm just like, what is this? Like, I totally lost patience with it. So
Fair enough.
so the PTA references were made left, right, and center. So I just wanted to
Yeah.
bring them in here.
I mean, Brady
Apologies to
Corbett
you.
also didn't thank PTA in his film,
He
which he
thanked
should have.
Lars von Trier and Michael Haneke probably, right?
I don't know if he did, but okay.
Sir, that second half is like a
Yeah?
sub Lars von Trier nightmare. And I love Lars von Trier. I don't like that second half of
But yeah,
Fair
PTA thing
enough.
is more pronounced, I want to say. I
But
mean,
yeah,
I
it
find
has that great important art film ka hai thoda so.
yeah, and
Yeah.
that
But some of it's
epilogue of Brutalist is also kind of funny, and for me, that's kind of the only redeeming aspect of that film, like
Where it
the
becomes
whole
a little
artist
ironic.
legacy kind of thing.
Mm.
I don't care for the American Dream thing.
Sure.
it's too much try hard energy is there in that film. Like they're
Yeah,
trying
there's
too hard to make a statement, you know. It's like,
Mm.
but the filmmaking is like great at points, so you
Mm.
can't just
yeah,
Don't
deny
yeah.
it.
worry,
Definitely.
Sanjeet. We will champion his Vice film, which is coming out this year, hopefully. It's a
I am
musical.
more
Okay.
excited about that one.
Yeah,
I'm
it's a
excited
Andy, right?
musical.
Yeah,
about that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It's a musical too.
yeah,
Mm.
musical.
And I
We'll move
heard
to the
the
master.
previous film is also good. The
yeah.
World, right? Or
Okay,
something
okay.
like
The queer love story, I think, right?
yeah, Pure Love
Yeah,
Story.
yeah.
Vanessa Kirby and
That is also co-written by
Karen.
Brady Corbett only, I think.
So
Yeah,
they
yeah.
two,
Right?
both of them
They
work
both
together.
write every
Okay,
film, and one of each of them alternately direct.
Yes.
Yeah.
got it.
Interesting. Okay.
Moving on to PT's queer film.
Starting now, you're not to blink. If you blink, we go back to the start. Do you often think about how inconsequential you are?
No.
Do you believe that God will save you from your own ridiculousness?
No.
Have you ever had intercourse with someone inside your family?
Yes.
Have you ever had intercourse with someone inside your family?
Yes.
Who?
My auntie.
Have you killed anyone?
No.
Maybe.
Not me.
Have you killed anyone?
No.
How many times did you have intercourse with your aunt?
3 times.
Where's your aunt now?
I don't know.
Would you like to have intercourse with her again?
No.
Do you regret this?
No.
Where's your mother?
I don't know, Lily.
Infringement. Back to the start.
Okay.
Do you often think about how inconsequential you are?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
I mean, that's how you introduced it to me, so I'm
Isn't
not
there a
going
queer
to.
subtext to this?
No, I'll
More
get to it.
pronounced
There is
film,
actually.
It's
at least in the
I hadn't
filmography.
thought
Yeah.
about it that way before, but I rewatched it like
It's a
2 days
love
ago,
story,
and
no?
in the final scene,
it's
I'm like,
a
yes, please.
it's a proper romance. But yeah, anyway, so I had heard about PTA. Like obviously, when you get into like cinephile circles, you hear about him a lot. But for me, I heard about Magnolia through social media, watched it, was decently impressed by it, and then Dhruv, I think I think I was sick. He recommended, I was sitting free, and he said, you should watch Phantom Thread. I'm like, okay, and I watched Phantom Thread, and I lost my goddamn mind. And
Yeah.
shortly, I think it was
You were
I
doing your
think
queer month thing,
yeah,
like you're
it was
watching
Pride. I was
stuff.
preparing for Pride Month. I was collecting films that I wanted to watch, and I told that to Dhruv, and he's like, you know what, you should watch The Master. And I said, okay, I'll watch The Master. And I again lost my goddamn mind. So like I was saying, for me, I think masculinity is a concept that I find deeply, deeply fascinating. And for me, a lot of PTA's films explore masculinity in a very deeply insightful and introspective manner. But where the master works wonderfully is in a sense because it's sort of almost a reckoning between these two extremes that ends up with I wouldn't say it's a reconciliation, but it's I'm going to do something that's going to annoy the living hell out of Dhruv, but in philosophy
Oh God.
there
Go ahead.
there's this concept called an aporia. It's kind of like a paradox in the sense that so if you ever have the misfortune, I would say fortune, of reading any ancient Greek philosophy, but for example in Plato, you have these discussions. They're essentially conversations that take place between different characters in ancient Greece, and you reach a point in the conversation where you've exhausted all the arguments that you have, and you can't really come to an answer, and that moment is called an aporia, where you are stuck in this impossible problem that you can't get a way out of. So the only way to make sense of it is to essentially reframe the question. It's to look at it in a different manner, and it's to almost escape. It's not to deny it, but it's to find an escape from it. And for me, the master functions like an aporia. And in it, for me, it's queerness. Again, I don't want to call it like a gay love story or whatever, but I think it's a deeply queer film. In its very construction, in obviously the dynamic that Philip Seymour Hoffman and Joaquin Phoenix into absolutely incredible performances share with each
None
other,
of them won the
which
award,
is
did they?
Yeah.
blasphemous.
I think they are arguably the two best performances of that decade. I mean, to me,
Daniel Day-Lewis won that year
for what,
for
Lincoln?
Lincoln.
No, this
Did
is
he?
2012.
2012. 2012.
2012, right?
2012
No.
Lincoln.
Oh, it's
Lincoln
Ah,
Lincoln.
2012,
Oh,
right?
okay, okay. So, okay,
Yeah,
fine.
I think so.
DDL won, and who won best support? And again, they're not supporting performances. They're both actually kind of dual lead performances only. But uh, I don't know. They-
I think Walken is the lead, and Hoffman should be supporting if that
Hoffman
they're
was nominated for supporting only. I think he didn't win though. I
supporting.
think pretty sure.
Hmm.
Which I'm
So,
like, sure.
yeah,
Anyway,
and it's also, apart from that, a incredibly gorgeous movie. I was telling Dhruv
it's
that
not shot
I
we've not mentioned Robert Elswit, who shot everything before this,
Yeah, his
but this
creative stuff.
isn't
Yeah.
this isn't
Hmm.
shot by
Mihai
him.
Malamir Jr.
Yeah, yeah, Francis Ford Coppola's regular second cinematographer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was telling Dhruv that a good shot of the ocean can just like get me going in any goddamn film, and there are just such incredible shots of the ocean in this
yeah.
movie.
But there's
But
something with the color only, I think. Of this
oh,
movie, I remember the colors only for some reason. There's this
Blue.
drink he
That
makes in
blue,
the
no?
beginning. No,
yeah,
with the
Mm.
Yeah.
orange, he makes some drink, and
Ah,
I
okay.
still
yeah,
remember the
his
color of that
moonshine.
drink.
Color,
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
and I'm just like so vivid and like it's the Sanjeev.
Good.
We can go ham over your texture of the film here, where this is the
Ah.
most textured, cinematography film, whatever you want to call it in your technical terms here. Like I just remember those things so much of this film. Anyway, sorry, you were saying, Chris. Yeah,
No, so I was actually thinking about how do I want to talk about this film, because I think it's, in a way, at least for me, it's one of PTA's more complex films to approach, in a sense, because it holds its cards very close to its chest,
Hmm.
while it also does just say a lot. And I was looking through like what other people have written about it and what the consensus of it around it is, and I Dhruv was making fun of me, saying that it'll be an excuse for me to talk about Tom Cruise because it's people consider it to be like a dig at Scientology, but
I
I
didn't. Yeah, it's
find
not a dig at Scientology. I think it's doing that thing where it's exploring it, and it's just like
yeah.
seeing how that goes, sort of, for
That goes.
someone.
I mean, but in the sense, in a sense, for me, I think that's the least interesting part
Sure.
of the film,
Yeah.
because I feel like it's the set dressing required to
Sure.
have this incredible power play that take place in there, and fundamentally becomes about this like desperate search for meaning, for belonging,
Yeah.
the dynamic between control and freedom.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I that's why I say it's like a desperately queer film,
Hmm.
because it is that need for freedom that is, or that inherent freedom that is so lacking in control, against this wall of control that is so lacking in freedom, which is
Hmm.
again a very very queer dynamic.
Hmm.
And how the meaning is found in the impossibility of their desire to be together,
Hmm.
in that Philip Seymour Hoffman's character finds meaning in trying to in a way tame as in
Joaquin
Joaquin Phoenix's
Phoenix.
character,
Yeah.
who's called an animal multiple times
Yeah.
in the film. And in Joaquin Phoenix, there is this desire, deep desire to obey Philip
Hmm.
Seymour Hoffman's character, but fundamentally, neither of them are capable of fulfilling that. And
Hmm.
that fundamentally, that meaning has to be found elsewhere, however deep that desire be, to try to reconcile these forces. And in that, to me, it's wonderful how it plays out, and especially like Dhruv was mentioning, how other characters play into it, especially someone like Amy Adams, who forms this sort of almost like a separation between the two, where in their moments of deep direct attempts at reconciliation, she forms that this
There's a
should not be
poster of this film in which you have her hand sticking out of like one of those holes you have there, and it's like she's almost like capturing or like holding one of
yeah
them close to her. Like there is one poster, like really beautiful poster. So yeah, hers is that stealth. Like she is actually the puppet master in some ways of Philip Seymour Hoffman doing all the
Master.
mechanics from behind. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
So in that it becomes for me this incredible exploration of such a deeply existential sort of moment, and feeling that that these characters experience. And to me, it's that beauty of it, that it's so deeply empathetic and emotional. And that
Yeah.
to me is what is most astonishing about it, is that it's so evocative. It is so deeply empathetic and emotional, and it gets that out of you, and I find that unendingly admirable. So my love for it's definitely up there. It keeps switching back and forth between Phantom Thread from what I've seen of PTA's filmography, my favorite. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Mm.
anyway, you guys say, I mean, again, more than the textures, the other thing I remember is that insane scene between the first time to both of them meet and the hypnosis
Mm.
therapy sequence or whatever it is. It's
Mm.
the
Yeah.
back and forth in that scene is just the most beautiful
Yeah.
thing, and some again insane close-ups. He is so good at close-ups. I mean, it's insane.
Demi.
Uh, Jonathan
Mm.
He was
Demme, I
his
think, is
Demi
the big
influence.
Yeah.
one, big influence
Yeah.
for that, right? So, but yeah,
Mm.
it's a haunting movie, and I think the playing the cards close to the chest does that. I think, like
Mm.
even if it like leaves you a little unsure once you finished it about what you feel about it, you have that
Mm.
lingering feeling that you can't like take it out of your mind about the master, at least. So I think I've seen it twice. I still don't know what I think about it entirely, so I want to watch it again just to see where I actually think. I'm sure that it's one of my favorites
I
though.
think
Like,
it's his most abstract film, right? Like, you can't
Mm.
read
Yeah.
that film
Exactly.
fully. Like,
Mm.
you
mhm.
it won't make any sense. Like, if you read it
Yep,
linearly, like, okay, what's
yep,
not trying to say?
yeah,
I think a
So
little
yeah,
bit of context is
agree.
usually very
mm,
important for a film like this, because even I watched it for the first time, I
mm,
was also more on wondering on the lines of what is this film really about.
mm,
Mm.
Like, you understand the dynamics and all that, but there's absolutely no context for you, because also, like, not like American context is not usually that popular in
yeah,
Mm.
uh,
Yeah,
India that well. So
mhm,
I feel that Scientology thing really
mhm,
gives a nice pointer towards understanding what this film was trying to do, because I
mhm,
feel that the whole hypnosis thing and the
mhm,
whole
Mm.
idea of just uh, directing someone's idea of how to live a life,
yeah,
Mm.
that
yeah,
that idea has a lot more meaning if you put Scientology as a like subheading to it types.
not
mhm,
reading. Yeah,
uh,
mhm,
but it's
Mm.
that's a
essentially
little
a film
important.
about PTSD, right? PTSD is
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
main
Yeah.
text,
Hmm,
right?
of
mm.
Because
course,
people
like how
often
Absolutely.
to
overlook
cope
that, I
with it.
guess. Yeah, because
Yeah.
on
Actually,
Scientology and
yeah,
power manipulation and all that, the
Yeah.
PTSD exists because I think John Huston's documentary was the base inspiration for Master, I guess,
Mm.
where
Let
they
there be
led
Let
like
there
light.
be
okay,
light.
World
Yeah.
War II veterans coming back after the
sure,
war. So that's
Yeah.
also a textual read for the film, right? How
sure.
to channel your
Hmm.
PTSD, how to navigate, someone who's like
The
does not
weird,
know how to lead their life. So,
whatever you guys have said and whatever Chris was
Hmm.
saying, actually, this would make a really beautiful double bill with Beau Travail, actually. Claire Denis'
Mm.
Beau Travail.
Absolutely.
yeah,
If
Yeah.
you're talking
Yeah.
about control and freedom and all these things,
Yeah.
then
yeah,
that film
Also
is
a
essentially
deeply,
a
deeply
dance
queer
of
film.
control. And we have done an
very
episode on
queer.
this. I mean, of course, that's like the text, I think, in many ways, but we have talked about
Yes.
it. Sorry, I can't miss the
We have
beat.
gushed about it.
I can't miss the beat to not promote a Claire Denis film. I apologize. So yeah.
Hmm.
Anyways,
Don't be apologetic.
um, is that it for the master?
Hmm. Yeah, we
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
move on to your
I mean,
choice,
yeah, but
which is
Inherent Vice is something we are planning to discuss with One Battle After Another, because
with
it's this
one battle
because
after another.
it's the same. No,
Thomas
it's not
Pynchon,
loose
Pynchon.
adaptation of Thomas Pynchon's the new
Yeah.
one is
Wineland,
Vineland,
Wineland.
right?
Mm.
Yeah.
And the
I mean, I
Inherent
think
Vice
even
is
the
from
master
Inherent Vice
has
only.
taken inspiration from some
From
Thomas Pynchon
Pynchon?
novel.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, is it?
but I'm not sure which one. But
I
I
Uh,
think it's
read it once
yeah, I'm
V,
not
before.
that
sure of that.
V period. That
We
novel. I don't.
okay.
V,
Yeah.
the first
Yeah.
one. It's the very first novel, I
It's
guess.
his
Yeah.
first
Okay,
novel,
Okay.
I think. Yeah.
I
But
don't
Yeah.
know about it
I
then.
was reading that One Battle After Another is like very loosely
Very loose.
adapted,
Yeah.
like
But
Yeah,
barely
Inherent
Yeah,
Vice.
more
almost.
of it.
It's
pretty
taken some
stayed
If
close
details.
to the
Hemant
book.
was here, he would have chosen Inherent Vice for sure.
Oh,
Like
is he?
I know
Does he relate
he
with
loved that
Joaquin
movie when I
Phoenix?
watched it. I'm sure. Like you've seen how big of a slacker. But anyway, that's not the point. But we'll discuss more about it once we watch One Battle After Another. I guess
Yeah.
that'll make
Ashwin,
more
if
sense.
you rewatched it recently, because I was scanning through
I
Letterboxd and you
rewatched
had
it today,
logged it.
like in
Okay.
2 hours ago, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, go for
I
it.
What did you
loved it.
think of it?
No, that was sorry. Yeah, I loved it. I loved it the first time,
Okay.
and Similar feelings, actually. It's one of the films that actually really holds up for me.
Hmm.
And I had planned on reading Inherent Vice, but I'm only like 20% into the book.
Hmm.
And so far, what I realized is that the movie is staying very close to the book. Like the dialogues, everything is like
Sure.
very,
Yeah.
yeah, staying
I mean,
following the book very.
is Pynchon one of those authors who's been said is like unadaptable sorts? Is that the
Yes, that's
Yeah.
the common
preconception?
thing about it.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can't sell this thing, no, because it
Sure.
doesn't make sense. I mean, I watched it very recently, but if you ask me to explain what happened, I have no idea what happened in the last
Yeah. Yeah.
episode.
It
But
goes
it's
very,
the
yeah.
vibes,
Yeah,
so
it is the vibes though.
and the vibes are immaculate, and there is also that very, interesting thorny romance that is the heart of the film, which I think has come to be the connecting thread in PT's filmography. Like if you
Mhm.
start from Punch Drunk Love all the way to Licorice Pizza, so the that's my takeaway. Like after my rewatches, the romance is just so the beating heart
Catherine
is
Yeah.
so.
Waterston and Joaquin
Catherine
Phoenix.
Watson's
Walking.
Walking Phoenix, yeah.
Yeah.
So there are like really good scenes like the Hawaii scene. There is a scene in the rain in this movie
Yeah.
that's just really
I
beautiful.
rewatched like the
Mm-hmm.
first 20 25 minutes like 2 weeks back, I think, just because I was in the mood to watch it, but then I felt sleepy, so I was like, I want to watch it properly later.
And it's
So but
very
I
funny. So
Mm.
which that is also that's one of his funniest movies.
Yeah, it's
Like
okay,
really
yeah,
funny.
that I
Josh
remember. Yeah.
Brolin's amazing in it. Like
The
Yeah.
he
songs.
loves
Like
Yeah.
eating
he'll
like
put like
chocolate
some
frozen
10
bananas.
clips from the movie in this
Yeah.
episode, and it just becomes like some insane
And
level
it
of
won't
content.
be on YouTube as usual because
Yeah, I mean,
everything
most
gets
of our episodes
copyright
are not
claimed.
there only now.
Yeah, I realized actually. Do they ban like everything you put or what? Even trailer material?
I don't know. The last
In
one was also
last one would be because Chris put the entirety of Badass Ravi Kumar in it. So of course it'll be copyright claimed.
yeah.
There's a
Anyways,
limit of how many seconds? I don't know. Like at a time.
there is some limit, but I mean I've stopped putting like
7 seconds,
song clips
I
or
think,
anything
if I'm
because
not wrong.
those get clipped. But trailers, I mean that's promotional material, right? So, anyways, doesn't
Yeah.
matter. No, but inherent wise,
Hmm.
we want to discuss in detail.
Sure,
I had
yeah.
watched
Let's.
I had watched 20 minutes and I was like, this is again that really takes its time even in that opening sequence of
Right.
just like between
Yeah.
the
Hmm.
relationship and like taking its time between the two characters to like
Yeah,
interact about whatever they're talking about.
and the way he uses voiceover in it is quite interesting. Like
Yeah.
it really serves
Yeah.
like it's not there in the books or anything. He uses one of the side characters
Hmm.
as a voiceover only in scenes where he wants to emphasize what
Sure.
Walking is feeling.
Sure.
It's often related to his relationship with the girl Shasta. So
Hmm.
I'm like he's focusing on that part. He's a
Hmm.
romantic
He
guy
is a
at the
romantic, I think, in general
very deep,
about
yeah.
most
So
things.
like
So it's
we'd have to thank Maya Rudolph for the whole thing, like whatever is happening for the
which is
past 20
a
years. So
good
yeah.
transition, I think, to Phantoms, right?
Don't act so tough. I know you are not.
Yeah, that's right, that's right. If I don't protect myself, somebody will come in the middle of the night and take over my corner of the room and ask me about their fucking asparagus.
Don't be a bully, you're
There
being
are
a
other
bully.
things I'd like to do with my time. It's my time.
I have no idea
My
what
time.
I'm doing here in your time. What am I doing here? I'm standing around like an idiot, waiting for you.
Waiting for what?
Waiting for you.
Waiting for what?
Waiting for you to get rid of me. To tell me to leave. So tell me. So I don't stand around like a fucking fool.
Asparagus. Is this all about your
No,
asparagus?
it's not
then?
about
What the
asparagus.
hell is it about? Are you a special agent sent here to ruin my evening and possibly my entire
Why are you
life?
so rude to me? Why are you talking to me
Is this
like
my
this?
house? This is my house,
Yes,
isn't
this
it?
is
Is
your
this
house.
my house?
Of course it's your
Or
house.
did somebody drop me on foreign
question?
soil behind enemy lines?
You
I'm
brought
surrounded
me
on
here.
all sides.
It's you who brought me here.
When the hell did this happen? Who are you? Do you have a gun? You here to kill me?
Sanjeet, I'm surprised this isn't your favorite, considering how obsessed you were with
I
this
mean, you
also.
chose it
Okay, that way.
before I did,
Okay,
so I was
okay.
like, okay,
You call
take
dibs
it
on
off.
it.
I called dibs on it. Okay, that way. Okay, fine. Yeah, no, I mean,
No, that's a shared love that Dhruv and I have for
we have
twisted
the
romances in general.
perverted love
I'm
story,
also
and
there
Chris
with
is also
you.
there.
Okay,
Or
Chris
this
is also there,
perverted
yeah.
love story trifecta. What is it?
Yeah.
What is it?
Decision to
Decision to
Leave,
Leave,
Phantom
Phantom
Thread,
Thread, Merry Christmas
Merry
also for
Christmas.
us at least.
Yeah.
And what was it? You like Black Bag? I didn't care for it that much. So that
Oh
I
yeah,
guess.
that is also
I
great.
mean, you were telling me
Yeah.
about that Kieslowski film also, no? Which was quite
Oh,
similar. I
I
think
really love it.
episode
The
6.
episode 6. which
Yes.
is
Yeah.
Decalogue.
I also adore.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah, yeah.
right.
So a lot of
You've
like
told me multiple times,
twisted
but I
love
haven't.
stories is a big thing here. Sorry, we like our poisonous tales of like uh, codependency, which are not together. Awful movie. Sorry,
Yeah.
the new James Franco
But I
and
also realized,
Lesson Three.
I think a bunch of people in the last 10 years have watched Phantom Thread of like PT in like amongst PT's work in general more so than his other films, which is a good
सिनेमा
thing.
में
At least like
दिखाते चल
people
जाती
still.
थोड़ी picture.
I went to cinema to watch it in
Not
Bangalore.
you,
I
यार.
remember.
I'm
Like
just saying
I
in general.
uh,
अभी क्यों देख रहे हो?
okay
पहले
in
देख लेते.
general. I
Yeah.
mean also
I can say this
that
I
because I
think
yeah
it's
saw it
the
twice in the cinema.
exposure. There are clips, right? Like Woodcock's
Uh,
breakfast conversation going on TikTok and being like, I don't want to begin my day with a confrontation. So it's like a
okay.
different fan following is there for the
yeah
film.
Sure,
So
sure,
I guess
sure,
that
sure.
also adds to that.
And just the
It's like
pouring of the
massively.
water, like very
Yeah.
yeah
slowly, and like just the
Yeah.
sound of the toast being crunched and everything. I mean, how,
yeah.
like, again, there's just too many details of Phantom Thread which I like want to get into, which I mean,
But what
again,
was your introduction point, Dhruv?
to PTA, I think it must be
Mm.
There Will Be Blood
Yeah.
only. And then it must have gone
Hmm.
back to, I must have watched whatever stuff was popular of his back then. So I think when Inherent
Hmm.
Vice was coming is when I started to sort of get more and more interested into film. So I watched it whenever it come.
Hmm.
And I was surprised I liked it because I still think I don't like The Big Lebowski, but I need to rewatch it. So long
Hmm.
time. I'm a huge Coen's fan, but I don't think I love it. But it's got that same vibe to
Hmm.
it, like Inherent Vice, in the loosey goosey, very like
Yeah.
almost plotless in a way, which I'm much more responsive to now. So I might very
Mm.
much get with
Hmm.
it. But anyways, Phantom Thread I watched in New York. One of the few good things in New York is you got the privilege to watch stuff before it was released for everyone. So this I watched like before it released, and I was just like, I still remember uh, the last sequence in the when she's preparing the omelet in Phantom
Mm.
Thread, and
Hmm.
I was feeling like genuinely. How can you describe being like genuinely tense? Like you would. I wanted to like say
Hmm.
something out loud because it was so tension filled, and I'm not the person who loves that much background score, but in this, which is filled with background score, I love it. It's
Yeah.
Mm.
almost
It's
wall
full
to wall
operatic
actually
in
in
this.
this.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
great background score. But that sequence, and then when the gesture happens of
Mm.
recognition, as opposed to death,
Oh.
Mm.
it's a mutual agreement of sorts. I
Mm.
was just like, I do not know what this guy has done here. Because it is 2017. I didn't think of relationships as
Yeah.
being like, can a relationship be like this? I never thought about it. And when that
Mm.
gesture
Yeah.
happens, I was like, this is so twisted. And I loved it because, it is so twisted, but like now, of course, when I rewatched it, I was like, twisted, but like, this is it. This is what it is, isn't it? Like, not
Hmm.
literally, of course, you don't poison each other or like poison
Mm.
one person and whatever. But like, this is it in the sense of it is about all these nitty gritties and sort of like all these. And I love how the film is actually about all these inconveniences, like a love story
Mm.
of inconveniences as opposed to of
Hmm.
being this grand, two people who are totally in agreement with each other and love each other for all their great things. Absolutely the opposite. Like it's like they hate each other many times. I love the
Mm.
Daniel Day-Lewis wala thing where he's like, "Are you a terrorist come from somewhere else to ruin my
Yeah.
entire
Finally hit,
life?"
right?
And I'm just like,
Asparagus. Bucket
asparagus, yeah.
asparagus.
I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean that's hilarious. And then there's the whole idea that yeah, like the whole relationship of course is the angle of it, but of course this time I was watching it and
Hmm.
I love how much it's attuned to Vicky Creep's perspective actually.
Mm.
And one of the things I was reading and people were a
Yeah.
little critical about was that Vicky Creeps doesn't have anything other than wanting a spouse in this, like the whole very and she's essentially a cipher, and I was like, she's mysterious. She's not a cipher, at least to me. And in the sense that she's mysterious in the way that she's telling a story about her love story and how she got her man, essentially. So she is the mysterious one, and the Daniel Day-Lewis character, who's actually like, I also think of it as a meta text. Daniel Day-Lewis, final film, huge actor, everything. Like, you expect him to give a grand performance and all that. And you're Vicky Creep's newish comer for this particular milieu and everything. And
Yeah.
she's supposed to be the girl who gets, like, swayed by this grand presence. And it totally flips that. I love it. I love how he is essentially by half point a petulant child who needs to be like told and like essentially be spoon fed stuff, and he
Yeah.
likes being
Yeah.
spoon fed also because
Spoon
that's
fed.
the
Yeah. Yeah.
there's the mommy dearest angle to it, which of course it is
Yeah.
there. So it's all that stuff, and I love how much it begins as this veneer of a period drama, which is like very serious about artistic muses and all
50s
that. Yeah,
Indian
and then it
drama
just
about
like
fashion industry.
so
Yeah.
smoothly like glides into becoming this wonderful love story about a woman essentially needing to calm down a man who actually doesn't, who would never exist. I think someone mentioned it, like, wouldn't Reynolds prefer Alma because she also provides him like the physical pleasure of being in a marriage than being with than having Cyril as his mother figure or mother wife figure, because he doesn't at least get to share the physical pleasures with her. So it's like a substitution. It's a contract even between Cyril and Alma. Alma has to be accepted by Cyril, and Cyril has to accept Alma. And I love when both those people are in tune. And there's that one scene where he throws the biggest tantrum, and he's essentially like in Cyril's office, and he says that it's the chic line essentially, that what the fuck is chic, like, who says that word essentially. And Leslie Manville is, for my money, like in insane actress in on every account. She is the only good part of which we have discussed on the chat with Ashwin and Arjun. The best part of Alfonso Cuarón's disastrous disclaimer. So it's she can even come out of that well. So that's really something. But
I
I
mean,
think
Vicky Krieps' accent is also very indicative of her mysterious past. Like some,
there are like
where is she
very
from?
there's the whole thing idea of her being like after it's a post World War II set thing. So I think it's the
Yeah,
idea that she
yeah,
is seeking
58, I
refuge
think.
actually, in a way, like she is trying to find a way in which she's not kicked out literally from the nation
Mm,
also. So that's
mm.
but that I think PTA is smart in not overplaying that, and just like hints at it,
He
as opposed
doesn't
to
overplay anything in this film, at
it's
least.
very
Yeah.
They're
like
all details that, if you
yeah.
read into it, you'll understand. Otherwise, it's just there for
Yeah.
people to understand.
Mm,
Yeah.
Yeah, and absolutely, and it's just then there's also a mother angle to it, which is the ghost
Yeah.
of the mother and how it's sewn into the fabric of the clothes and everything. So it's like a lot of elements. In some ways, you can again say, like I say for most movies, this is PT's Vertigo. Can you say it? Yeah, because it's kind.
Rebecca, they
She's
say Rebecca,
yeah,
which
I
she's
think he
kind of.
cited Rebecca
Rebecca
as
is there.
influence.
I mean, I
Rebecca
think
in
this is
particular.
much
mm.
better than Rebecca, to be very honest. But I think the Rebecca's second
I
half, I
mean,
think, is bad.
Rebecca's
Not
awesome, but
bad,
yeah,
but like
sure.
it goes into the other part of the Hitchcock film, which I don't particularly care for.
Mm.
First half is Phantom Thread, I think, but no, I think Hitchcockian, of course, but like Vertigo in the sense that in a way for him she is the ghost, or like the ghostly presence of his mother is being completed by the presence of Cyril first, then Alma second, and but I think the best thing is that the film isn't even about him by the end. Like, I think it's almost like she takes over the film, and I think I love the fact that what he's done, PTA here, is taken away the control from the legendary actor in many ways and given it to like a newcomer in Vicky Creeps. And I love the whole meta angle of it also, where it's like, and I love that she's become such a big thing after that because she's terrific in most things I've seen her in.
Yeah.
So yeah, like so many ways to like thread this thing or whatever. Find like a way
No,
of saying
no.
it, but yeah.
In that sense, like my joke is slightly different in the sense that I don't think there can be a film that is more tailor-made for me. Because
Okay.
like you cannot make a film about like a mid-century couturier and it not be as someone who's like obsessed with historical dressmaking and
Yeah.
all that kind. It's been a long-held passion of mine and I've spoken about it
Yeah.
extensively. But like even at a very surface level, like you just look at the setting of the film, there could not be a film that like is more perfectly made for me. And then you add to it like just like I always say this that I'm not a fan of the I can fix him trope. I'm the fan of the I can make him worse trope, and I think this is such a such a great, like, very literally I can make him worse kind of a moment. And I just remember watching it. I'm like for me, like they were saying, like, for me, like, this is what love is. Like, like all my adoration for Bollywood and like Shah Rukh Khan romances on one side, but this is to me like the idea of like literally poisoning your lover just to have him calm the hell down is just so poetically beautiful to me.
I've
In
also said
again.
this. My mom loves this movie, and I have no idea how to process that. And luckily, she doesn't make the food in the house, I guess. But yeah, I mean, but I get, but it is that very strange sort of, that how do you gain control of a man who is enthralled by control? Like, it's sort of like
Mm.
that. You have to calm him down. And how do you calm him down? You
And
find
someone who's
ways.
so bought into his self mythology, right? Like,
Yeah.
how do you cut him down for
Yeah.
size? You literally you poison him. You like it's so wonderfully absurd
Yeah.
that it just makes sense. Like that's the, I think, the fundamental beauty. Again, deeply emotional.
Mm.
Again, one of the films where there were parts of it where I was proper bawling.
Mm.
But like,
Oh,
apart from
nice.
it's so emotional and it's so funny. It's like I'm surprised that I've not yet come across like the comic Phantom Thread edits, because
There
this is
are.
actually a film I've not
No,
seen
they're
them. I'm
there.
surprised I
Right, yeah,
haven't.
they're out there.
Because you could
Yeah,
make
yeah.
such incredible like comedy edits of this movie because it's so consistently funny. And again,
Mm.
it's so consistently gorgeous. And
Yeah.
Mm.
And
it's
this has no
absolutely
credited
baffling.
cinematographer, right? I think this is the first
Which
This is
is
the
time
first
he
movie he
himself
shot
shot it.
by himself. I think he
he
shot it,
shot
but
with,
yeah,
Yeah.
he kept
along with, I
stepping
think,
out.
the other person who's
Pretty
also
much.
credited for One
Michael
Battle After
Bauman.
Another, I think.
Hmm.
Michael
Yeah.
Bauman.
Michael Bauman.
He's basically a gaffer. He
Okay,
does
Okay.
lighting.
yeah.
So
Hmm.
I think it's more like a collaborative effort of just like
Yeah, because Robert
shooting it in
Elswood
a
and
way.
him
I
had like a
think,
falling out, right? So
Yeah,
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 not falling. I
after
mean, I think
environment.
it's just obvious that they would fight over things. Like Elswood is also
okay.
very, a guy who
Stubborn,
Opinionated.
nah,
puts
I
his
think in
foot
any
down
case with
about.
film and all that also
Yeah,
he is. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
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 Not just that. I think in
But
general, like
yeah.
if you watch his other work, also is like some brilliant stuff that he's done. Like Mission
Velvet Buzzsaw.
Impossible, that also, but also something like what is that movie?
Ghost
Nightcrawler is by
Protocol.
Robert Elswit.
Nightcrawler.
Nightcrawler, yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay.
Ghost Protocol is Rogue Nation is by him. Like so,
Rogue
all
Nation.
amazing stuff.
Yeah.
So Elswit was supposed. I mean, for me, I think Phantom Thread, I think, is something that he didn't write properly at all. He just went
Hmm.
on set and made something. I feel
Okay.
like that because in one of his earlier interviews, he
Hmm.
was telling about how to uh, have a starting point for a character.
Hmm.
And he was like, what if I put these characters in a coffee shop
Hmm.
and then they can take it forward from there? So, I mean, it's there in Hard Eight.
Yeah.
And in this also, he goes to a place to have breakfast, like
Hmm.
something. And then
Hmm.
it's sort of, because he's like, I feel
There's
he
a
didn't have a starting point for a film like this. That's why
Why
it
didn't
has
he
like,
say that
there's
the
a
inspiration
big
came from him being sick and then Maya Rudolph looking
sick.
very
Yeah,
ill?
my
Yeah,
bro.
yeah,
He was watching
probably.
Rebecca on
yeah.
TCM.
That's what.
He got sick,
Yeah.
and he
Yeah.
saw Maya Rudolph being so powerful, and she being like, "Okay, just calm down. I'll take care of you." And he was like, "Okay, this is a possibility. I'm liking this."
Wasn't
He
there
was like,
an
"Okay, I'll
interview
do
by
this."
Fiona Apple that she was like, if you put PT and Tarantino in like a room with Coke, they'll be the most insufferable people.
Yeah.
And I'm sure like
That's my
something
favorite
must have
movie.
changed once he married Maya Rudolph
My no,
after
100%.
Fiona
There,
Yeah.
she
Apple.
is mixing something in those omelets. 100. That's
Yeah.
not even a conspiracy theory at this point.
And I'm
Uh,
thankful.
Thankful,
We
yeah,
are
very
eternally
much.
grateful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
So no, but
I
it's
hope he
so
does an AMA
sublime.
after this on Reddit because he did it after Phantom Thread also, if I'm not wrong.
Let's hope people see this movie. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
No,
first
but
thing.
I
Yeah.
think the response has been just generally very positive. I have a feeling this might just do the whole F1 situation of just like making money over time
No,
slowly.
Sanjeev. F1 is a
You don't think?
product.
No, I
That's
think
why
it's
it
more
made
like
The
money.
sinners,
disgust,
like,
the disgust on Dhru's face. I wish he
I
watched
want
The
to,
this
F1
so
is a
you
yeah,
could hear
product.
his
You
same.
know
right
I
now.
feel
why
that.
why
You could see it
this
right
is
now.
more like Sinners, right? Like before it
Sinners
opened, the
is
reviews
probably
are
better.
crazy. So like Sinners, I guess this will do some business, first week, and then it will slowly
I mean,
calm
he is
down and
doing a
maybe
racial
move on.
thing here also, right? Which maybe hopefully gets in more
Yeah.
audiences. Who knows? I mean, I just don't trust people to watch this. Just I don't.
I don't think so.
No,
I
it's
think the
You can be
racial
absolutely.
thing
cynical
is
as
getting
much as you
No,
negative
want.
but the
reaction.
budget is also too high, I think, for this
Yeah,
to do
yeah.
well. Yeah. It's the same with the
No, I
Mickey
think most
17,
of
where
his.
I was like, I mean, don't think the movie is very good. That's a different scenario. But I also don't,
Huh.
it's too expensive to do that well. It was also like 120, 30. I was like, oh, this is too expensive. It won't do
No
well.
more. More, I
Was it
think.
more? Okay. Any.
I think so. No, but like most of his movies have been budgeted around like 30 million between 25 and
Yeah.
30.
I saw
Like
Yeah.
even Master, which is a
175 for
failure,
this. Yeah.
is insane actually.
Master is
Like I think
100% not
Licorice
a
Pizza was
box,
also
like a
40
mainstream box
million.
office movie. Absolutely no. Phantom Thread, to still, I think people will like it if they put their heads into them. But
Yeah.
again, no idea.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Everything is around like 30 to 40 million and all that. And this is just like another level of
yeah, 175 is,
but
I'm
yeah,
like,
go ahead. Finish off
yeah, I'm
your
done. What else more can I say about Phantom Thread? You guys say more if you have more to say.
yeah.
Because then we'll move on to
No,
Licorice, which
I
also
I
I
was
have
saying
lots to
about
say.
how it being very loosely made.
Hmm.
Also because I think he's mentioned a couple of times like Daniel Day-Lewis was like a co-writer on this film.
Hmm.
Essentially, he was writing with
Okay.
him on set about the like
I think
what can
Leslie,
this
I saw
character
like a Leslie
possibly do.
Manville thing where she was
That's
also
why
saying
the
something similar. Yeah. Well,
that's why
about
the
the
whole
fact that it
beginning
was
and the ending
impromptu.
feel like a patchwork sort of thing because it doesn't feel like he had a starting point. He must have had like the whole idea of okay, I'm basing this film here,
Hmm.
and this is what happens in general as a whole.
Hmm.
Now let's make it. Like
Hmm.
that's the whole process. How
I
it
would
feels like.
think that's more Licorice Pizza to me at least, which again is not a criticism. I like
No, but
I
Licorice Pizza still has episodes. Like he's like,
yeah.
okay, I'll write this episode. I
Hmm.
don't know how to connect these episodes, so that's why the whole love story becomes the whole connective arc for all the the
Wacky
whole
people
thing.
around it or like misogynist people around it
Yeah,
essentially. Yeah. Yeah.
more or less. But I that's what I think about Phantom Thread. And I think that's
So
also the beauty of just like filmmaking in general. Like he found magic while he was making that film.
sure.
Doesn't happen all the time, but when it strikes, it's like
When does it
absolute
not happen? I
gold.
want to know from your mouth, Sanjeet. Who will you
But I'm
diss?
just
You
saying.
never diss anyone. So yeah. I mean,
Only if it's Remo D'Souza.
I think okay, fair. Anyways, should
Easy
we,
peasy,
guys,
easy peasy.
Ashwin and Arjun, anything more on Phantom Thread? Otherwise, we'll move to Licorice.
If I asked for your phone number, would you give it to me?
Why should I give you my phone number?
So I can call you?
I don't know, Gary.
Why not?
How are you gonna remember it?
It's only 7 numbers.
Seven five eight 4686.
756 4686.
Got it wrong.
758 4686.
All right, Don Rickles. Don't call me all the time, okay? We're not boyfriend and girlfriend. Remember that.
So I think it's his most relaxed, kind of a loose kind of a film,
Yeah.
which is the kind of evolution that you can see from his first film to his, Licorice Pizza. Like
Hmm.
in terms of style or theme, he's been
Yeah.
like loosening up. I feel like Boogie Nights we've been talking through Dhruv and Arjun. I can actually feel this guy, this 20-something guy behind the camera. I can see him basically in every frame, like pushing around, and he has been like shedding that, and he's becoming more invisible like over the years. And I think that has become most evident in the last 3-4 films, like Inherent Vice, The Master, and Phantom Thread, and Licorice Pizza, where he does things probably the most perfect way in which that scene should have been done, but not in a way that he attracts attention to it. There are no elaborate long takes or anything. So he has come to that thing, and also like when you look at like Boogie Nights, he wanted to do a version of Singing in the Rain. Like it was about a transition from silent era to talkies. So he used that the advent of this camcorder thing, the video thing, and
Or he did the
placed it in
film to
the
digital,
porn
I think.
industry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that transition thing. So he had like big ideas. It's one of those 20-something cinephile who wants to make big things. So similarly, There Will Be Blood is a big thing for him. Magnolia is definitely although it comes from a personal place, normally it's just in terms of the structure and all, it's a very ambitious thing. But like his recent films are I feel like things that he wanted to say, the stories that he wanted to tell. Some he doesn't care about the ambitious part of him seems to have gone away, I feel like. And he's doing things that he wants to do. So this is a movie about a very specific place and time that in history that really he cares about a
Yeah.
lot. And to show that, and taking stories from people he knows, things that he remembers, movie stars, places, diners, and all the locations and everything that he grew up with, and he's telling a story. And it's like I see it as a dual coming of age story. It starts as this Gary Valentine story, and at some point, without ever letting us know, it becomes an Alana movie. And it just goes back and forth. And what I see is that in this very specific thing, like he's being so true to the specifics of the stories, and
Yeah.
so honest about it. It all happened to people in some
Yeah.
way or another.
Yeah.
In that specificity, because of that specificity, we get sort of a very universal thing out of it that everyone can relate to. Like at least I can relate so hard to it. It's one of those movies that just I'm locked in from moment one, and
Cherry
I'm
Bomb, right?
smiling.
That's the first scene.
Yeah.
Cherry Bomb?
Sorry?
Cherry Bomb?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Cherry bomb in the
Yeah.
washroom.
Yeah.
All the way till the final scene. I'm just
Yeah.
transfixed every single time I watch this movie.
Yeah.
So it is. Speaking of the specific part of it, it's like early 70s. So in the US, like after the civil rights movements and all, like free love, that kind of thing. So you feel like kind of you've got endless opportunities kind of thing, and you've got this precocious teenager, like 15-year-old, who wants to hustle his way through life. Like he's into everything, he's an entrepreneur kind of a guy. On the other hand, you have like a late 20s girl who has no idea what to do with this freedom, like so-called freedom. So in that way, in terms of the details, it might be very specific to that age, but I can relate to it in a very millennial way. I'm like, oh, I want to do a lot of things. I want this. I have a lot of freedom to do things, but I don't know what to do. So I really, really relate to like Alana's character in a way like people usually talk about the worst person in the world. They're like, oh,
Sure.
she's literally, so, which is a film that I don't really care about. But for me, she's the worst person in the world. She is the one,
Yeah.
she's going from like the one toxic relationship to the next. She like handpicks the worst person. If you, this 15-year-old boy, and then he's going to this self-absorbed movie star. And then there is the Jewish guy who is an atheist, so it doesn't work
Yeah.
out. Then what? Then when she
Bradley
finally ends,
Cooper? Oh.
that's kind of a. I
Not
don't think
Peters,
he's
right? It's
trying anything. Yeah, and in that mayor's office thing, there is an actual age-appropriate guy who is good looking, who is into her, who she has a past with. Yet she goes for the gay guy, and eventually she comes back to the 15-year-old guy again. Like as Dhruv said earlier,
Hmm.
it's a very dark film. Like
Hmm.
it makes you feel good, it makes you laugh, but
Hmm.
it's a very toxic relationship, right?
Yeah.
So and it's one of those things like the film doesn't really end. She's going through that cycle of like the bad things. She's floating around from one
Hmm.
bad decision to the next, to the next, to the next, and it keeps going. It's like when Succession ended, you feel like it could have ended in third season, it could have ended in fourth season, it could
Hmm.
they could have make up one more season.
Hmm.
Every like Licorice Pizza is like that. I feel like you could have
Hmm.
one more episode of them,
Hmm.
having a falling
I
out
mean,
and
yeah, I think one of the things
coming
which
back
I,
again.
yeah, sorry to interrupt, Ashwin. I
Yeah.
think one of the things for me is that when the film ends, when Licorice Pizza
Yeah,
ends, in my mind, that
yeah,
relationship is an episode, and I think she'll move on again. Like to me,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
not like an eternally, it's not like the
yeah.
perfect love story. Like
Right,
to me,
right.
I think PTA wants us to believe that, and I think he, in some ways, does believe that. But I feel
Yeah,
the way in which these characters are portrayed throughout the film also gives you the room to think and make your own conclusions after that. Like I don't think it's one where it's like, oh, look at them, they are all happy jolly together. It's like it's another
yeah.
episode, right? It's just part of
Right.
her, this whole idea of her pinballing. I think pinball is, they open a pinball store, right? That's the whole
Yeah,
thing also. The
yeah,
pinballing around San Fernando Valley in this 70s thing between people who are really terrible, like really
yeah.
really terrible. And I think actually, the as you were saying, there was like the character thing. I love the character thing with Cooper Hoffman's character, where he's essentially which male idol or model should I choose to become? And I love the whole thing where he's essentially trying to be this cocky asshole, and then otherwise he has that moment. What's the one where he's keeping his hand over her breast but not on her breast when he feels affection for
Yeah.
her? So he has this whole thing going on where doesn't know what he wants actually, because he's split between being a super macho guy and otherwise being like a more self-caring guy or whatever. Like, so there's all this stuff going on. None of it is signaled, which is the beauty, I think. Like it's happening because it is a narrative, and the way it's that free floating thing, which I think
Right,
is
right.
what people get put off by. I thought it was just the most refreshing thing because I was just like, this is
Definitely, like,
wonderful.
and it's intentional also. Like in
Yeah.
one of those podcasts, like the Smartless podcast with
Hmm.
those people,
Hmm.
the Arrested Development people.
Hmm.
He came and during this Licorice Pizza, and he talked about this, and
Hmm.
he's like, as you're writing something, like
Hmm.
you get this urge to like like hammer down a theme, but you try to ignore it, and he tries to tell the story factually. He's more into the what are the facts of the story,
Hmm.
and he will let a theme emerge out of it if it happens. So
Hmm.
that's his approach now. So that has been a very intentional thing with
Yeah.
him, I guess. So yeah, Licorice Pizza is like it's a wonderful film, and so many. It's like a confluence of a lot of his interests, the ensemble thing, and even I think the action set piece, the truck set piece is kind of
Oh, it's
underappreciated. Like I think
insanely tense.
it's
It's so good.
insanely incredibly well directed, but it's not flashy. That's his thing.
Oh
Like I mean,
yeah.
no one else can do it. It's so exciting to me.
I
Like each
I
person,
I
so
I
tense. It's like
yeah.
that Spawn Ranch scene in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Like so fucking tense, but.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm like no one else can do this, and when
Yeah.
people were like pretty soft to Licorice Pizza, I'm like, what is
I
wrong with you
mean,
people?
we know one of the criticisms was just, okay, this is quid. It wasn't BS. It was for us BS. Is that correct, Chris? We won't get
Can
cancelled
I
if I said
can
this.
I can I interject over there because I know what you're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to say something again that might annoy Dhruv, but I'm going to say this is very humbly my opinion, and it's about how I responded to the film because
Okay.
this is to me, and I'm going to say it very like emphatically, Paul Thomas Anderson's underlined "Call Me by Your Name" for me.
Why will I be
Okay.
annoyed?
I don't know. I
That's
thought you
very
might
interesting.
be.
Okay. Go on then.
So explain. what I mean by that, I mean, there's two ways to look at it. Number one is the discourse angle, which I have been harping
Preach.
on about for a long. I got Dhruv to dedicate an entire episode where I just bitch at people who bitch about Call Me by Your Name for its age gap, and
Yes.
I'm going to do the same thing here because
Yeah.
I feel like this needless moralization of cinema, especially which directly ignores the very important and very legitimate reckonings the texts themselves are doing with what they're planning to like no, I don't think, when you say a comment like, oh, why couldn't he have just made Gary Valentine slash say Timothy Chalamet's character in Call Me by Your Name 18, what would it have changed about the film? It would not have been the film then. Like you want another film, you're writing fan fiction, like go, if you want that, go
Yeah.
get that. Like I
I'm
think
sure there's
it's
more examples of that flying about
there is.
somewhere. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, but like for me, what I mean by that, and again, I say it is Paul Thomas Anderson's Call Me by Name very specifically, again, to not catch any flack. But my point
I don't
essentially
dislike, again, I don't dislike Call Me by Your Name. It's a perfectly good movie. I don't love it. That's it.
anyway, for me, the thing is, from that in that sense that when people talk about Call Me by Name as a love story, I in a sense
Yeah.
disagree. For
Yeah.
me, it is a coming of age story, and
Mm.
to a certain
Right.
extent, it's also a dual coming of age story where just one story gets sidelined, but it's very much
Absolutely.
that second coming of age that causes the first coming of age to
Yeah.
happen. And to me,
Right.
it's just PTA centering those both coming of ages as two very legitimate experiences of youth, of aimlessness, of being lost in this world where you don't know how to operate in Call Me by Name. It's through queerness, and here it's just through life and through the opportunities of 70s America. And that is to me what fundamentally makes why I feel so fond of something like Licorice Pizza, because it taps into that emotionality that I, again, like Ashwin said, I deeply relate to, and I find extremely just very again deeply honest. And I think again it's another film that very subtly explores many shades of masculinity across the many characters, and how feminine, or how the female experience, or how a woman interacts with and is often victimized by those many shades of masculinity that
Sorry,
often.
just to interject, I remembered one dialogue which I still remember. I've seen this movie like how whenever it released, I saw it twice, but after that, I've not. When she's sitting with Sean Penn and she's essentially saying, "I'm pretty, am I not?" A sort of like the external validation she seeks
Yeah.
from so many
He
of
takes
them, from
Right.
so
No,
many
and
of these
it's
people.
that impossible condition of being like a heterosexual woman, right?
Yeah, yeah,
It's the need, the whatever you can consider it, the very human or the patriarchally constructed, whichever framework that you take,
yeah, yeah.
need for validation from the other half, or from the other sex, but also the fact that you know damn well that you are never going to get it, and that is an impossible desire to be fulfilled, because
Yeah.
it's that's just how the world is. And I think in the episodic nature in which that PTA explores it, you see. So, what I love is it's done so naturally. Like
Mm,
I've seen films where they're like, oh, this is, this one is that archetype, and that one is
mm.
this archetype, and this one does that to him, and she gets sexualized by this one, and she gets ignored by this one, she gets friend zoned by this one. None of that. Like,
Mm.
even to me, the reveal of the mayor character being gay is just such a wonderfully, like, that moment I absolutely adore, when she's about to kiss the age of the one, like, okay guy that is supposed to be like, supposed to check all the boxes, and then she gets the call from the guy, and she sort of sprints out. You see her like walking
There's a
casually,
lot
and
of
then she
running in this. No, this is the
she
running movie.
bolts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Tom Cruise would love this movie. She
Oh,
starts bolting up. That is
Cruise
the comment
reference.
that would
Tom Cruise would
Tom
be a
Cruise mentioned.
But Tom Cruise would be a good one of those
Jack
guys.
Morgan.
Yes, to
Yes,
add to the
yes,
to the
yes.
list,
Yeah.
absolutely. She bolts out of there and she sits in between these two, and it's almost like a repetition of when she's sitting next to Sean Penn because she's watching this moment unfold, and like her mind is melting as she hears this conversation go on between them. And again, I found that moment where she speaks to that character's boyfriend deeply, like it's very funny, but I again found it very deeply touching about
Yeah.
that moment where they're like, guys are just like this, but like, and at the at the end of the day, and how what she finds in Cooper Hoffman's character at the end of the day, it's the final manifestation of that desperation, right?
Hmm.
Someone who doesn't exploit me, someone who doesn't ignore me, someone who doesn't consider me a trophy, someone who doesn't objectify me. It becomes this like 16, 17-year-old boy who has seen nothing of the cynical world that I have. And there's something, I think something so desperately beautiful about that. That just makes the film work so beautifully to me. And again, something very similar that I see in Call Me by Your Name for me.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
Interesting. Banger
yeah, there's
soundtrack, huh?
nothing to add.
Nothing
I
to
mean,
add.
Yeah, it's like a very sweet movie. It's like
Uh-huh.
very weightless in a sense, but all these
Yeah.
things apply to it. It's like a stream of conscience, like images. There are images coming up to in his head, and he's just going with it, and it's so sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's only
beautiful
got
movie.
one track, like I think one,
Yeah,
which is also very lovely, which only plays when both of them are walking in like I remember like through like it's sundown or something, and they both are
yeah,
walking,
yeah,
just talking about something, and the
Yeah.
Johnny Greenwood, we
yeah.
can't put the
There's
thing. I
only
was about to
one
do the
small,
Yeah.
instrumental version of
yeah,
it.
piece that he composed for
Yeah,
the movie. It's
yeah,
beautiful. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, Sanjeet, you also really liked it. I know that. I mean, we were the
Yeah.
when it released. I know we defended it as much as we could because we
Yeah.
really liked it, and then the whole
Mm.
in our opinion, stupid discourse happened. So
Yeah.
am I fine, Chris?
No,
I will.
I think
Yeah, I know.
the
I mean, you can never cover your bases enough. I mean, you should have learned that by now. Like, you should
Just
be doing this
asking.
less instead of more. But like, I am there to take all the heat at this point because,
Okay.
I'm gonna get angry. I'm gonna straight up curse at people, including people who used to be my friends. And probably if there are any friends of mine do this kind of nonsense. So don't
but
worry,
I think
I'll
there's
take all
one
the
more thing
heat.
where this age gap thing came up because in
Hmm.
later PTS films, right, there are top themes that are being addressed directly, right? But
Hmm.
here we feel that there's a vacant space for because the film is not like the bigger picture. It's not about any particular thing, like what Chris was
Hmm.
saying. It's about many things at once, but it's not like trying to tell you one specific theme
Right.
as such.
Hmm.
So there's vacant
mm,
space there.
Hmm.
Discourse is waiting for that vacant space so that they can fill in and scoop up the film and make it about something else.
Yeah, and I
So
think.
that's why the film got because even in Phantom Thread you have things to talk about. It's a film
Hmm.
about a particular thing, but
Hmm.
here there is no theme to pinpoint to. It's so stream of conscience and so weightless,
Hmm.
inconsequential in a way,
Hmm.
not fully, but yeah. So that's the reason why this age
no,
gap thing was something that they latched on to, and they're like, okay,
I mean,
this is
while
what
I
do.
agree
And
with
the
you,
racism
Arjun.
thing also, which I thought was absurd.
Yeah,
I was
Oh,
like,
that was
it's
like
so
this.
stupid. It makes
What
yeah,
me
is that?
mad.
I'm sorry, I missed it. What is the racism thing?
The Japanese thing. That
Oh,
Japanese
the
okay.
thing.
Japanese
Oh my
thing.
Oh my
goodness.
I was
God.
like,
Yeah.
I
of
mean,
course,
we are
is it not
obviously laughing
satirical?
at the guy. I mean, we are having
Yeah,
secondhand
it's
embarrassment.
obvious.
I
It's
That's
like,
the intended
yeah,
reaction, and
I
it
that's
I
the
cannot.
thing.
remember
Like, they don't have
I
enough
remember seeing it when
context.
it released. I was like, what should the guy do? Like hold a placard that I am not a racist in the film, like
Yeah,
that way?
yeah, yeah.
Like
I
what do
am
you
like
want him to
so
do?
gobsmacked that this was even a discourse.
Oh,
Like, I
it was
still
a
get
huge thing. They were
It
like,
was
I
a huge
Yuki
still
is
thing.
get
racist. I'm like,
Yeah,
what
yeah.
are you seeing?
I
Where
still
did
get
that
the
come
age
from?
gap discourse, okay, because I am a Gen Z on Twitter.com, so I get that, but
Yeah.
I just cannot fathom. And my point was that Arjun, while I agree with you, I also think that that's giving I think, and I'm gonna be mean here, a little too much credence to the type of people who do this kind of discourse, because
Hmm.
fundamentally again, it's about that knee-jerk moralizing. It does, if the film was about something, like for me, Call Me by Your Name is about something. It's a
Or
film that
something.
says something very distinctly. And it's a gay romance. It's a gay romance set in the 1980s. Like, I don't think there can be more of an I mean, if you were to think from their perspective, more of a quote unquote appropriate context to explore such a dynamic. If
Hmm.
you can spend years, like I'm telling you, even like maybe less than a week back, I have seen tweets about someone would have posted about Call Me by Name and quoted by, do you know this movie is about pedophilia? Which is just like, and I feel this rage like welling up inside of me. So for me, that's the point. The point is not the movie wasn't about like about anything, that is why they
Oh,
latched
that too is
on.
the thing
It
only.
is they
People like
want
want that.
yeah, they want to find something to get
Something,
mad
yeah.
at,
You're
so
right.
that they
Totally.
can
That's
have
true.
their
That's right.
moments, they can have their hit tweets, and they can gain their 500 followers and have their moment as Twitter person of the day. That's how, I
Just
mean,
2 weeks
exactly
engagement. Yeah.
exactly. I mean, that's what Dhruv and I went through in real time less than like a year, like what, like 6-8 months ago. So
I can't
it
believe
is what it
Anora of
is.
all things caused this. I'm just like, at least like Antichrist or like something more explosive. I'm like, not Anora. Come on. It's the same, I like Anora a lot. I just think it's like not the movie to get mad about. Come on, guys. Like, I mean, just like
I mean,
grow a
in the
pair.
discourse cycle of things, it is very much, I mean, and again, love Anura, and too much of a nothing burger of a film to get that mad.
Yeah, I'm just like, just relax. I mean, I'm like, also, whatever. It's
You
so
say
annoying.
to people to let's relax on the we do not want to relax website. What do you think will happen?
That's why I left it, no, Chris? गलती हो गई एक बार. Anyways, Sanjeet, you were saying something.
No, I think I was going to talk about the whole racist thing only, which was sort of
Oh, okay.
mentioned now.
Hmm.
Like, the film gives you a certain contrarian feeling in general when you watch it, but then it's also addressing all these things. Like, also it does all these irony things very well, right? Like, even in There Will
Irony
Be
तो
Blood,
सर
I
लोगों को
remember.
अच्छी नहीं लगती. So that's the issue, no? Now you need to be all like didactic and like very, very like this. We want to say this. I'm like, okay,
Or
then.
No.
over acknowledge your irony in like
No,
50 layers of
in There Will Be
post-mortem
Blood,
Underline
disguise.
everything.
हाँ हाँ
That's what
हाँ.
they want.
in There Will Be Blood, like there's this point where he's talking about, it's a family business,
Hmm.
and I get all my workers and I get the families of the workers also living there, so that it's
Hmm.
like a whole community that, and it just cuts to all just like men walking around setting up tents and all that.
Hmm.
I was like, this is what PTA does in general, and
Hmm.
he's doing that more so in like Licorice Pizza, because it's more of an outright comedy,
I also
uh,
remember because
relationship
because
comedy
when
in
this
general.
released, I was like one of the great things about this, and because I find nostalgia quite sickening in general. I think it's a bit. I feel like nostalgia is a disease in many ways, like the syrupy sort of nostalgia,
Yeah.
like the very very cheesy. We want to go back to that times, which I think Licorice Pizza is like the perfect sort of nostalgia because it is willing to capture everything that era had, the good and the very horrible also. It's not like
Yeah.
skimping around that, which I think I remember I mentioned it then also because I remember I think Belfast came and I was just like, that's the most sickly like nostalgia fest I've seen
I
in a
hated
while.
it, and
I was just like,
same here.
it's just like like a
What is that
slew of
James Gray film which we both liked?
Oh,
That
I
was a
really
good
liked Armageddon Time.
Armageddon time, right?
Armageddon
That's
Time.
good.
Armageddon.
Oh, that's awesome.
That
Yeah,
was really good. That's a
Yeah,
good
that was
but
really good.
that
Yeah.
no one else liked.
nostalgia
That
film
everyone
in
said
that
was
sense.
also racist. I'm
Even
like,
I liked it,
I
yeah.
didn't think it was racist.
That's the point of the movie, right? Like,
Yeah, yeah,
what are
yeah.
these people say? I don't
I
know.
don't
It's a,
know.
it's a
Okay,
great movie.
It's literally
I
the point
tried
of
to
the
defend
This
that
was
movie.
movie
all
for
the
the
same
longest
year, I
time.
think,
Yeah, I think similar year or
right?
same year. Yeah,
No,
Armageddon
Belfast was
Time.
released on the
21,
same year.
22.
Yeah,
Armageddon Time. Armageddon Time. Right. I remember though a lot of the
Armageddon
discourse
time.
was just like it's racist and like I was just like,
Totally missing the
I
point. Like what
Hmm.
they're trying to
I
say, just
I
focusing
don't
on that.
get it. I'm just like, I think that it's one of the more honest admissions of someone's childhood and like nostalgia. Like it's complicating nostalgia, and then people were like, it's like racist, and I'm like, I don't know what to say. Congratulations, I guess. What else? I don't know. Anyways, we ended on this note because I actually forgot how horrible the discourse for Licorice Pizza was when it
Yeah, it was
released.
really bad.
yeah,
Yeah.
It
really
really
bad.
was.
As in, like, the
Like, I
critical
remember I was
reception was
in.
great. Everyone, I think most critics absolutely loved it, from whatever I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
And
the
and
industry
I think
also
it was the
loved it.
audience reception was like all
Yeah.
over the place, and I was just like, I don't mind people critiquing films for like like if they found something which was bad in it, but like it's not racist. I'm sorry.
Hmm.
Neither is it sexist, in my opinion, at least. So I don't know,
Hmm.
or
No, of
ageist
course.
or whatever ist or ism you want to throw at it. I
Hmm.
don't know. what Easternism is going to be thrown at one battle after another. I think this seems like he's
Oh,
going to
I've
be.
I think
already
it
heard
undoes
one day.
everything
have
and
you?
more so, right?
There is a
Black women are
race thing
non-opposite,
happening.
right?
Yeah, black
Yeah.
fetishization of black women is something that I heard,
Fetishization is
but
there.
like we'll see.
Nice.
PTA,
First game.
just make a film about white people, PTA, please, because then they'll blame you that you're just making a film about white people. That,
Then the reverse will
that's
happen. So,
that's it.
yeah.
That's what you should do. Stay in your lane. I mean, I would love. I actually like filmmakers who stay in their lane quite a bit. But I mean, if a filmmaker like him is going for that, then why not? I mean, staying in the lane means being more honest, I think.
Yeah.
But if you're willing to explore other stuff, I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt until you see the movie. After you see it, then of course you voice your problems. Pehle you can't say stuff, So is
Yeah.
my point.
No,
Anyways,
hopefully, one battle after another lives up. I hope so.
lives up.
For
Yeah,
me personally.
hopefully. Yeah, it's long. Wow,
Yeah.
2 hours 40 minutes, right?
40
Yeah,
minutes.
48
Yeah.
minutes, something like that,
250
whatever. I
almost,
think
yeah.
if you
I'm
go in
the-
PVR, it becomes like 3 hours, 20 minutes anyway.
The interval
Anyway,
of
That's the
Chris,
time.
same
that-
in Dubai. That's the same in UAE, by the way. It's not that different. It's the same.
But there's
like
no
3 hours.
interval
Seriously?
at least.
There's no interval. Yes, that is the good thing. Yes. But my only fear is that I'm going in. I will go in IMAX, a theater in a theater where I have had horrible experiences of movies, of the quality of the movies being bad, not the theater experience being
Oh,
bad. I have watched
that's-
that. What's that guy?
Different.
Duncan. Oh no, that I watched in Dolby. But yeah, you can same thing. It was bad. Sorry, Sanjeet and Chris, you like it. I forget.
Which one?
F1, the movie. No, but I watched that Warcraft movie there.
That was what, 2016?
Whatever it was. I watched 1917, which I don't like.
Fair.
And then
That is understandable.
I watched Avatar also, maybe, which I also don't like. So maybe it's just me.
God.
As in, oh
It's
my
you.
God, because I don't like
It's you
Avatar.
only.
Oh my God, because I
Yes,
don't like
Avatar, just
1917.
Avatar, not the rest
Okay.
of the things.
Oh, Avatar. The second
We'll
one,
get to
I
that
just-
later.
Get to that later.
I think
Yeah.
Sanjeet,
Okay.
you will have to handle the fire and water, whatever the title is of the movie. Fire and ash. Water
Fire
to
and
khatam ho
ash.
gaya, sorry.
And
Yeah, water mein to, yeah, got submerged.
No.
Second one, sorry.
Water में तो गर्म है. But anyway, I think we've covered all our favorites, which more or less covers his filmography, except the short films and other media stuff that he's made. I mean, we did touch upon
Anima
I
a
guess.
little bit, and then
Yeah.
Anima a little
Telugu.
bit, and
Anima's on Netflix,
so
right?
Yeah.
it's 15 minutes only.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting thing to check out, I guess. I mean, Junoon is on Mubi, I think.
Is it?
People can watch
Oh,
that.
we can't promote movie now.
Yeah.
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 They're in
Unspoken
everyone's
thing,
bad
like,
books.
bad-
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Bad books
I
now.
thought movie was giving us sponsorship. Why? What happened?
मना कर दियो please.
Sir,
They're
आप
funding
तो फिर तो
issues with
100%
the-
cancel
yeah.
करेंगे.
They're funding from
No,
करवा
they
के
are
छोड़ोगे।
getting funding
From
from
Israel,
Israel.
something.
Arey, तो this 100%,
But-
if by chance one battle after another becomes a moderate success, Leonardo DiCaprio कभी आएगा वापस?
Yeah, his portal is coming up. Yeah.
He's being built in Israel, yeah.
Yeah, I feel bad
Yeah,
for PTA here, to be
Lovely.
honest. So, but anyways.
No. Hoping for all amazing things before. I think this episode comes out around the time of, I think, next weekend, I guess.
होना तो
Or
चाहिए,
no.
yeah.
I mean, people have no context when we recorded it, so there's no idea what is
On the
next weekend
weekend
for
of
people.
when one battle after another releases.
OBAA releases.
OBAA. Is it OBAA?
Hopefully.
Okay.
Yeah, OBAA. That's how
Yeah,
people
yeah,
are going by.
I mean, you fluffed the
So-
title when the first thing you were doing was saying. the title
Because you're
and you
talking about
fluffed it.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, so I started it once and I was like, oh shit,
Okay.
there's no going back. There's already mistakes are already made.
Yeah. Great movie, by the way.
but,
We can say this because Amartya is not here, right?
Yeah, I'll champion it forever. I
Yeah,
love
yeah.
that movie. I mean, that's a good companion piece to Licorice Pizza, by the way. It's a very good
Yeah,
hangout
yeah.
film.
Yeah.
Definitely.
If you, I mean,
Time period wise.
like
Yeah.
Yep.
nice hangout American movie about 70s, late 60s, whatever
Yeah.
American society.
Mike's movie.
Anyway, I think
Much more
this is the end of
violent,
the
though,
episode.
of course, by the end.
Yeah.
Once Upon a Time in
Yeah.
Hollywood.
Yeah.
Like in a cathartic way. So, anyways.
Yeah, of course. Anyway, but I think this is the end of the episode. Thank you so much for listening. We
You
really
can
enjoyed
follow-
this episode with You can follow us on our Instagram at queens.filmpodcast. Ashwin and Arjun, please plug in your Instagram handle so that people can follow you, or wherever, like Letterboxd.
Letterboxd, I
I
think,
mean,
is
it'll
the
be there in the
best.
description.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll be
and
there.
it'll be in the description. Cinematic. Are you guys recording something now or
No.
no?
It's been dormant for some time now. We become so
Okay.
lazy nowadays, you know.
I mean, I don't blame you.
Maybe I should start doing something.
I don't
I
blame
think One Back After Another might be a good place to start. Like, you know, if we are
Mm.
Okay.
get to
Yeah.
watch that
Fun.
time. Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone here will
And you
watch
can
it. Chris, are you
follow-
going?
I'm planning to if I get
Okay.
tickets. Yes.
Okay. You will get
It'll release
tickets.
in
It's
Vegas,
a Paul Thomas
Vegas,
Anderson
Dwarka,
movie, not like a.
IMAX.
Yeah. In Vegas,
No.
Dwarka or Vasant Kunj, one of those two places. it will be
100%.
there.
Oh, you're pushing Chris to go
Chris
and
will
watch it in
find people.
IMAX.
No, I'm saying 100% people will be there, so it'll be a good
No,
thing.
I might
only.
take my dad. I wonder what he'll think of it. I think I'm excited to see that.
Interesting.
I don't think this is like alienating. Apparently, it's his more mainstream movie. So, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Most
I mean, I
people
thought
bad
Licorice
movie,
Pizza is also
apparently.
quite mainstream, but anyway. You can follow Dhruv on his Instagram handle at Terminal Cinema. You can follow Chris at PRD Chris. I hope I didn't.
PRDS.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah, PRDS. I always confuse his letterbox handle to his Instagram, Chris
Okay.
Slim, whatever. And you can follow me at pixel_baba. Thank you so much for listening. This is the end of the episode. Khatam.